And we are live. We are live. As you join in, if this is a replay, as you join this live, either you are coming in or you come in as a replay. I guess some people were here already. Um, Make sure you let us know where you listening from. Let us know what's going on, how we are doing. I have a beautiful guest today. Matter of fact, I said I was going to have a guest on Fridays. And I pulled back a bit because I'm not the one who enjoys interviews a lot. So I kind of start and stop. So I need to just keep doing it. Not that I don't enjoy interviews, but you know. So as you guys come in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I hope you guys are having a blessed day. Happy Friday. This is our Friday night conscious. Well, it's not nighttime yet, but it's our Friday night conscious talk. Hey, Christine, how you doing? Good, good, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Hey, Christine. You guys, welcome. I hope you guys are having a beautiful Friday. We're gonna have a discussion today. Um, a beautiful lady, and it's gonna be. We haven't been talking about what we're gonna talk about really. It's gonna be pretty much on the fly, so it's not rehearsed. This is live. This is real people, real problems. Well, there was a court show that says real people, real problems. I think it was divorce court. No, it wasn't. I think it was divorce court. It was people's court or something. My second time catching you live. Hey, Delicia, how we doing? Lisa, how we doing? Good evening. Good evening. Lisa from Michigan. Okay. Hey, it's good. It's good to see you guys coming in. It's good to see you guys coming in. Like I said, we have a guest that I want to introduce to you guys in a couple minutes. But I want y'all to come in and relax yourself first. Matter of fact, let me set up my stuff. Wait, I haven't even set up my stuff yet. Sad, sad, sad. Give me a second as I set up my stuff. I don't have any elevator music playing, so my apologies. You should have some elevator slow music, but I don't have any. Hey, Miranda, I see you enter. I see you enter the chat. I'm slacking, right? I'm slacking. I know I'm slacking. I don't want to slack, but sometimes, I'm a man. What else can we do but slack? That's what we do. We slack. We slackers. Give me a couple minutes while I set up my stuff. Sometimes this YouTube stuff, sometimes it's annoying you. If you guys come in, I hope you guys take a seat because we're about to go over some stuff. Now, I know some of us are in relationships. Some of us went through a divorce. Some of us went through a breakup. Some of us are going through a divorce. We have been in some harsh relationships, some situations. Some of us have came through. Some of us haven't came through, right? We don't. So it's very often. So it's right, right. So I want us to take just pay attention to what is being said because I think some of us will actually learn a bit. Now, I'm just asking questions. I'm not sharing my 2 cents because she doesn't want my 2 cents. My 2 cents is not what you all came in for. You all came in for her 2 cents. So I'm about to introduce this beautiful lady. Her name is Miss Sonya, and Sonya has three beautiful children. Hey, Rhonda, how you doing? Sonya has three beautiful children. She reached out to me a while ago, and we spoke a bit. And I was like, "Dang, Sonya been married for a while." She let you know I know those things. Sonya went through her divorce, and now she's living her whole life. But I want her to tell you her story. Sonya have three children. Sonya is a what do you call it? Mompreneur. Oh my God! See, I told you I couldn't say it. So let me bring Sonya up so you all can meet Sonya. You all welcome Sonya to the platform. She is right here. Hi, Sonya.
Mm. Hello, Mr. Kirk. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you for asking.
Amazing, amazing. So I'm glad to have you. I'm happy to have you. I know we were supposed to
Thank you.
meet We were supposed to meet a long time ago, a while ago, huh?
Yes. Yes. Very much
But
so.
but but yeah, I told you I'm not. I'm not the best. Hey Gina, I'm not the best interviewer or
Host.
host.
Interview. Yes. That's
Yeah,
okay.
so
Timing is everything, Kurt. Timing is everything.
it is, it is, it is, it is. Can you see the comments by any chance? I don't know if your phone allowed to see the comments. I think you look on your left screen. I don't know
I
if you can.
I don't see any comments.
Okay,
Would I
it's
look
all
in the
right.
chat?
Yeah, yeah. I believe this is in chat.
hmm Okay, I'm scared to touch the phone because I don't want to lose you. So if you
Yeah,
see a
yeah.
question they need to
No,
ask, we'll do it that way.
yeah. Actually, I'll put it on the screen. It's like this right here. So if somebody says
Okay.
something, a question, I'll put it like here, right here. Okay.
Okay. Okay, I can see that. Hi,
All right.
Sonya. Hi, Christine. Okay.
Nice. Yes. So, Sonia, what is going on? What is going on? Can you introduce yourself to these beautiful, kind people?
Absolutely. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Sonya Flynn. I am a mompreneur. I actually have my own catering business, and I'm also a part of an amazing network marketing company that I've been a part of since 2002. I have three lovely children, and I was married for almost 25 years. I filed, went filed, my ex-husband filed for divorce in January. It was finalized in August of last year. And now I am a single mother. And my
Wow.
youngest is the one that I have full custody. I mean, well, we have joint custody of, and he just turned 13 on the 26th of last month.
Sure. So 25 years of marriage, huh?
Yeah, almost 20. Yes,
25
and
years.
27 together. hmm
That's like that's like your whole
Over
life.
half of my life. I
Hmm.
know.
How was so let me ask you, let's go back to the beginning. How did you meet? Oh, when did you guys meet? How old were you?
I was we met, I was like 20, maybe 26. Because yeah, around 26.
26?
And I'm currently 52. I'll be 53 at the end of this month.
Okay, okay. How what drew you to him?
In all honesty, the first day that I saw him, he was visiting our church. He was a guest at our church. And the first day that I saw him, I had never met him in my life. And I was like, that's my husband. It was not a it was none of that. It was literally a confirmation that that was going to be my husband.
Hmm.
That is no
So
lie.
you saw him. So you saw him and you just knew that was him.
Well, I was interested with the church that we used to attend. We used to do Bible studies, and the ladies studied with the ladies, and the gentlemen studied with the gentlemen. He had one of his cousins to come out with him to visit, and they were introducing me to his cousin. But when I saw him, um, I was like, "Oh my God, that's my husband!" I didn't know his name. Never seen the gentleman in my life. It was literally that seriously.
Did you
And
ask
I
him
had
out?
actually been praying, and I had just another gentleman at the church. We were supposed to start dating, but that didn't happen. And a few months later, this gentleman came in, and then I understood the assignment, why the other relationship was not supposed to have happened.
Oh. So you wanted a church man.
It wasn't so much I want. Yeah, I wanted a disciple of Jesus, that was the way. The church that we honestly was a part of, we literally dated within the church, and we were called disciples. And so and the things, the values that we actually practice, we wanted to make sure we had the same, common grounds, a common denominator to be a part of that. And one of the things that was most prevalent to myself in us as a part of that ministry was purity. And so that was the way it was based.
Were you a virgin when you got married?
Absolutely not. No.
Oh, oh. I
But
I
the
mean, I was just curious.
thing no, Well, the thing that happened, and it's okay. I love this. So what happened when I gave my life to Christ in '95? Um, then at that point, when I married my ex-husband, I was celibate for 5.5 years. And so we had never done anything, been together at all until the day we got married. Not even French kissing, none of that.
How long did you wait to
And we
marry
were
him?
best friends. We were best friends.
How long did you, hey, Jamisha, how long did you take me? How long did you all date?
We dated for about 2 years.
And he didn't get none?
Absolutely not. He was nope. Both of us were living that life because the
Really?
thing was is that the old life that we had, that life we died to that in order for us to follow Christ. And once we realized for the both of us what sin had, what our lives or the sin that we were part of had done to Jesus on the cross, it was like that was the thing for us, and we had a new beginning. For me, I was a virgin when I got married because I was a new creature, and for myself, that's the way I looked at it. But of course, that life before, the life that you see now is the AC, it's the after Christ. The BC, honey, I was something else. Okay, so that was before Christ.
Well, you
I was a
see,
whole different,
you
a
know,
whole different woman, and nothing was not pure
I'm
about
kind
me.
of, I kind of think that's what BC means, and yeah, BC before Christ, before you met Christ, some of us was just not just raggedy, but it's okay, but it's okay. So, so you waited until so you got married, and then what happened? What happened in the marriage? What changed, or how did it go? First few years.
Well, the first year I was very, very angry. And the reason was is because um I literally ended up getting pregnant within 3 months of being married. And
See, y'all
our
couldn't wait.
plans,
Y'all couldn't wait.
yeah, yeah. Wait, no, I literally was crossing over birth controls, and in the midst of that, that's what happened. So within a year, I became a mother. I became a wife and a mother, and honestly, I didn't know how to do either one of those roles. And so that
Mm.
for me, it was very stressful within myself in my mind, because now I felt cheated, honestly, that I didn't get an opportunity to spend 2 years getting to know the person that I was supposed to spend the rest of my life with, because it was interrupted, due to the pregnancy.
Wow. I would have been pissed. I remember when my first child was born, I was angry. I was pissed. I was like, God, damn, why you do that? She's like, it wasn't me. Well, who was it? It was
Exactly.
her. I don't remember because
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't me. I promise you it wasn't me. But so what brought us here now, right? How did we get here?
Well, we got here because, I want to make sure that we understand, especially to the ladies, and I'm not excluding the men, but I'm a woman, I'm a female, and helping women have a voice, because throughout the marriage, I basically was a stay-at-home mom. I might have worked a year or a year and a half within the marriage. And what I understood, or what I understand now, is that for myself, I lost my whole identity as a woman. I was his wife, and I was the kid's mother. And so there were so many things and feelings and emotions that I could not process because I didn't understand it for myself, that I was dying. And then I remember even asking myself, is this what I want? I felt like when I became a stay at home mom, my life ended. Like I lost my complete identity of who I was. I didn't even know who I was, what I was. I just was operating from what I was being taught, or what I thought, a great wife looks like. And I felt like in the midst of it, my life, I never got off. Like when you go to a job, at least you have a lunch break, and you may have two 15-minute breaks. But when you are a stay-at-home parent, you are never off. It's 24/7. And it's the most unappreciated career ever, being a stay-at-home mom, in my opinion. Because it's like, well,
What was
that's what you're
happening?
supposed to.
What was happening at that time that made you feel those things?
Well, because it was the role. It was almost like, this is, you are a woman, so you're supposed to cook, clean, take care of the kids, the house, the bills. It's like I was everything. But the role of the male was to be a provider. And it's like, okay, I'm providing and that's it. But not only now you want me to also provide, and when I started providing even financially, none of the other roles disappeared, and they were not, they were not considered shared spaces, in my opinion. And so what happens is that there's so many demands on the female, per se, if you're looking at it from a traditional standpoint, in roles, because it's like, if you when I got married, I didn't know that we needed to discuss different things, like, okay, how are we going to work together as a team, to help each other, to make this work and function, so that one person won't be overwhelmed. And my thing is, I kept silence. And not that I was trying to be silent, I just suppressed everything, because it seemed like every time we spoke, an argument, it just turned into an argument. The little simplest things, because we were not on the same accord, or we were not thinking the same way.
So, how far in the marriage did you realize that?
Um, I realized it, for me, a little bit after I had my son. Because then I was really trying to figure out how to continue to be his wife within his first year, as well as being a mother. And I just felt like a prisoner in my own home, because I didn't know
Oh, yeah.
what to do with either one. So I was seeking advice. Like, I don't have an example of what a healthy marriage is. Not, I mean, I'm just saying, not in my family, per se. And so now also I don't understand about being a mother, because this little person is dependent on me, as well as this big person is dependent on me. And I honestly felt like, because I was trying to do so much, that I never felt like I was worthy or good enough. I was never going to be enough to complete those tasks.
Let me ask you,
And it became overwhelming.
what did you see your mom do in the house, like when you was growing up? What was she doing? That you know, like what did you see her doing or not doing?
Oh, honey, look, you don't want to know about my mother. My mother, was a straight heel raiser. My mother was a bootlegger, and she was an entrepreneur. That's all I saw. And cursing and playing numbers and cards. And I mean, she was a comedian. But my
Right.
mother, I've never seen my mother work outside of her home. And so I became, I guess, the same. I followed that footstep. But I've worked since I was 16, a job. But I'm just saying, with my mother, that's just who she wasn't. She worked for herself, and I guess that's where that came in with me, my entrepreneur spirit.
So
But
you
she
didn't know
didn't play
what to expect.
games.
You didn't know what to expect from a marriage of being a stay-at-home mom and a wife at the same time. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. And my mother, vowed not to ever get married, and she did not. She was never going to get married, and she was in relationships for years, but she was not going to get married for whatever reason. I have no idea, but that was her philosophy, and I wanted to break the
So
generational curse of all of that.
mm, okay. So did that ever change about that feeling of feeling trapped when you first had your son and being married? Was that feeling ever? I mean, did you get used to it? Did you learn to work it out or get counseling or therapy or pastoral, 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 yeah, counseling and stuff?
Mhm.
Did that ever change?
Well, when we were in the environment that we were in, we had what we call discipleship partners. So we had other married couples that we would sit down and we would share what we were going through, and they would give us advice, through the scriptures or their opinions and things of that nature. So that's how that's how our relationship was. And so we had accountability partners for our marriage as well as advice with the children.
Okay. Does it get better over time?
I didn't hear the other part, the last part.
Did it get better over time? The marriage.
It did. We had some great times. We did. We had some amazing times. And not so amazing times, but we did have a lot of good times, especially in the beginning. There were a lot of things, I'll say for myself that I felt there was a lot of insecurity within myself and unworthiness. And sometimes what I believe to be true for myself, and I think many other individuals, male and females, it's like when you are very insecure within yourself or you're dealing with the identity crisis, you're looking to get something from your spouse or other people that you're not willing to give to yourself. And then when they don't arrive or they don't give you what you are expecting or what you feel like you need from them, then you're disappointed. And then it's no longer about you, it's about them. And you're placing blame on the wrong person because no one is responsible for your happiness outside of yourself. But
Okay.
when I was in the midst of all of this, I was looking and searching for love, and I was needing him to be something that was not his responsibility. If I don't love myself, how can I expect you to love me? But that's what I was looking for. I was looking for the validation. And I just
Did
didn't
he give it to
understand.
you?
I didn't understand then.
Did he give it to you?
No,
He didn't?
no, not at all. Because there were things like, for instance, and I'm gonna use you as an example, and I may be wrong, so you can correct me. It's not a right. I'm just trying to give you an analogy here. My world before I even started it, for me, I felt like I was already fighting to get validation because of the codependency that was a part of my character. But the other thing is that I wanted to be loved, and I had very low self-esteem. But when I met the gentleman, because of how positive he was, I mean, reading books, and he's a part of Amway, just personal development. I had never even been exposed to someone so positive and the things that were shared. So we became best friends. We were best friends before anything. And so due to that, my I felt like, okay, I got to get to his level, number one. And then he was a very healthy person. Fitness guru, all of that. And that has never been me. And I'm still fighting right now, for their weakness, but that was him. And so in the beginning for me, that was always in the back of my head a struggle for me because I'm like, I don't feel like I can live up to what this person needs from me physically because I'm not a gym person. I've never been that. That doesn't mean that I can't change and become, don't get me wrong, but it's been a battle for me through the whole marriage with the weight. But I felt like at some point after I got out of it, I was like, were you doing this for him or for you? And so I felt like I was always trying to fit in or get that approval or like love me. But I never felt that I received my love language
What's your
from
love
that
language?
person.
What was
My
it?
love language is very being a compassionate person, a loving person, a giving person, selfless, you know, when I we for myself, I love affirmations. And but some people will make you feel bad about it. Well, like you need to do that for yourself. I do know I need to do it for myself. But if that's what I love, can you compliment me? I love compliments because I didn't get it growing up. and being bullied, or going through my own identity crisis or the low self-esteem situation. That's what I wanted, from the other individual. That it's like, if I get up and I make all this effort, and I put forth this effort to look good, to make up, clean myself completely up, but yet you don't say a word or acknowledge anything, but everybody else will say it. But even though I appreciated everyone else, the person that I wanted it from the most did not give it to me, and that
Right.
was more hurtful than anything.
Out of the 25 years being married,
Hmm.
how many years would you say were good years? It's a
Very
long
good
time,
question.
25 years. That's a damn long time.
It is. It is.
I,
If
I
we
ain't
want
going
to be
nowhere
true, it
25 years.
might have been 10 of them. It might have been
No,
10
10
good
years?
years. Yeah, and it could be more, but I'm just going to give a rough estimate of 10, because the factor is, and we discussed this after we got, after we were not together anymore. What we both came to realize, it was very hard and challenging on both of us. But I don't think we knew how to communicate that with each other, or to be honest, and frankly, to be honest with one another. Just like you said, when you had that first child, why? And I'm sitting up here, I'm angry and mad. Oh, I was going off because I was
Right.
very angry. But people, try to guilt trip you. That's a blessing, a child. I don't care about all that. The blessing should have came 2 years after I got married. So at least we could get to know each other, because we didn't. But understand that we both realize, from the time we've been married, we've had children. We still have a child that's just turned 13. So the whole marriage has been with kids. And the last one came, like they call that oops baby. But I was turning 40, and literally it was the best time of my life. I had just lost 40 pounds, all these different things. Went to the emergency room. Long story short, thought I was going for bronchitis, went and found out I was pregnant. Not only was I pregnant, I was in my second trimester, and we had 4 months to get ready for a child. Now my ex-husband had a vasectomy. It reversed on its own after 8.5 years. And so that's how the
Now,
last one got here.
hold on now. Hold on now. Hold on. I got one of those things too.
I
And if
know.
mine
Mhm.
reverse, if
Oh.
mine reverse, listen, I'm going to sue anybody, because if I see any belly or any baby come out, I'm mad, you know. Listen, I might just listen, man. While I'm whooping a kid,
Well, my
I,
best advice to you,
jeez,
Kurt, because you had one. I tell all wives and husbands, every year when you go to your doctor, make sure they check your count, because I'm
I
telling you,
don't go.
once I've
I don't go to the
learned
doctor.
about it, a vasectomy, birth control is safer than a vasectomy. After I went and studied afterwards, but yeah, so make sure every year you do your fit. You have to, because after 5 years you're supposed to come back for the review. And trust me, 8.5 years later, yeah. And so now we still have a child, and so we still were not alone, because we've never gotten to be empty nesters. We were never gotten a chance just to be, by ourselves.
You think that that helped or that assisted to the damage of the relationship?
I believe that, and if I'm being transparent and honest, yeah, because it took a toll. Because a lot of times, what happens in marriage is that we marry our children and divorce our spouses, because the
Mm.
children become the center of attention, and so you don't guard the most important relationship in your life, which should be your marriage, and it should be
Oh
whoever
yeah.
you believe in.
I
It
like
it
my wife more than
for
my
me,
kids.
huh? You would.
I like my wife more than my kids. I ain't gonna lie.
Hmm. Yeah.
I like my wife more.
and
I
and
ain't gonna
that's
lie.
and that's the way it should be, because the kids are going to leave you. And what happens
Yeah,
is,
and they're
we
annoying.
we have the kids, right? And we're so active in everything they do. It's like we had 3 children, and he was working overnight, and so I'm taking them everywhere. I had other people help me, because I couldn't be at 3 places at one time. And so the relationship that needed to be nurtured, which was my marriage, was not being nurtured due to all the
Mm.
attention being given to the children. and they leave
Yeah.
you, and then you wake up,
Mhm.
and when everybody's out the house and y'all looking at each other because you're strangers, because you don't know each other. And that's why so many,
Mhm.
I never understood myself why so many people got divorced after 20 years, 30. I'm like, why? But that's the reason for a lot of times is because they don't know
That's
each other.
why.
They wake up with strangers.
Them them badass kids, man. Them damn kids.
And
That's why. Listen. That's why I'm telling you, these kids. Hey, sit down. Wife, come. Let's go. Because I am about to take. Wait, I don't like them kids. So let me ask you, right?
mhm.
When when your marriage changed, what happened? Like not change, but when it was just bam south. What happened? And when he asked for the divorce, or you asked for a divorce, like how did you know that it was at that
Well, my situation was a little different. My ex and myself, we literally were living as roommates for 3.5 years,
point?
and that was his
The last
choice.
three
It
years?
was 3.5 years.
Mm,
And so I was in a point of disbelief, but he basically moved, out of the bedroom and to another room, but it was due to health issue, his back actually, from what I was being told. So I didn't see anything wrong with it until I start realizing that he was pushing farther and farther away from me. But when I knew it was over is when he came back from a trip that he had taken, a destination trip for his cousin's
mhm,
wedding. And when he came back,
mhm,
he was a complete different person. And that's when he
mhm.
came back and told me that it was over. Like officially, we had been talking about divorce. We had the paperwork, but nothing ever, came about it. But this time I knew it was serious. And one of the things that he shared with me was that the second part of his life, he had just had a birthday, and the second part of his life that he was going to be happy, and he was not going to wait for our son to graduate. Like, because a lot of times we stay for the kids. It's not, we were divorced a long time ago, but we stay in it for the children, not realizing that the children are more miserable by us
Yeah,
not being a married couple. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I told him, I said, I understand and I love you enough to set you free. And that's what I did. I didn't fight. We were not fighting over anything. Let's take care of our son. He's not my enemy and I'm not his enemy. I don't mistreat him. I wish him nothing but the best. Our season was just up. And I
25
learned this.
years?
Mhm. Yeah, because you have to understand this from my perspective. It takes two to be in a relationship.
Sure.
And if one person does not want the relationship to work, you can't force it. And
Yeah.
that person is not happy, then with you, there's nothing you can do. And I learned this from a very wise man named Kurt Hazel. And that's how I started following you. I'm so serious. It's like you helped me to release him. And what I mean by that is that I'll never forget you. And I sent it to my nephew, my friends. I was like, you got to listen to this man. I didn't know who you were from Adam, but and I'm paraphrasing this because it's been a minute. But you gave an analogy with candy, and you was like, y'all
Mhm.
just need to stop it, stop getting mad at people who leave you. Let them go, let them go. I'm like, why is he talking like that? Like, that's not the truth. And you was like, they have a right to change their minds. And if it was a candy bar, if you like, a Twix candy bar, but you lost the taste for it and you had no more desire for it, I don't care if you put nuts in it. I don't care how
That's
you
deep.
dress it up. You just don't want it. And he was like, you're like, that's how relationships are. And don't get mad at the people when they leave you trying to punish them and wish them bad. It's like they have a right to change their minds. And I was like, he is absolutely correct because I also have a right to change mine because we are adults. But because of America and society, especially when you're coming from a Christian upbringing, if that's what you want to call it, Divorce is, is not allowed because it's supposed to be the death do us part, sickness and health. But when a person, I feel like now I know better, and that was my freedom to release him and not to treat him any different. I'm never going to treat him the way he deserves to be treated in accordance to any, because that's not who I am as an individual. And I'm not going to allow anyone to change my character. But trust me, I do live and learn from. I'm not going to allow you to use me or anything like that. But we have kids together. We still have a son that we're raising. And so I want it to be as peaceful between us as possible, because honestly, we'll be better friends now than we were when we were married, because
Yeah.
now he has released me and I have released him, and I found comfort in your lesson that day and freedom, and that's why I can't get mad at him. Like, he chose someone else, and that person is making him happy, so I wish them nothing but the best, because I know my best is coming. And if it doesn't, I get to enjoy who I am and getting to know myself, and in understanding, now I'm finding who Sonya is, finding out things about myself that I never knew. I have to get to know me because I lost me in the midst of all of those years.
So when he brought that divorce to you, you knew it was already kind of over, but you still. I mean, listen. Before I got married to my wife, before I paid that $3 for our wedding, the $3 that I paid, that's all the money, by the way. Before I paid that $3, I said, listen, this is, listen, but this is till death do us part. Listen, I ain't playing with you. I ain't playing no stupid games. We in the, we in this one. We in this one for a while. Till death.
Mhm.
You know what death is? Till death, right? And I hope she understood that because I was serious, not in that crazy, creepy way. But I'm starting to realize some things when it comes to marriage myself. I've been married for 14 years, my first marriage, and I've been married for eight. Oh, you still
Your
there?
your your stream froze, Kurt, so I didn't hear what you said. I'm
Oh,
sorry. You said to death, and
yeah,
then everything went away.
yeah. So I was saying I've been married for 14 years, my first marriage, and
Okay.
then 8 years, 9 years, 8 years. I don't remember. I think 8 or 9 years this time. Hey resilient, hey Chesney, and so I'm for that's a lot of years, ain't it? 14 plus 9 or something. That's like
23 years.
I know it was that I know it was that many years I've been married. But I realize, man, I'm starting to realize this sounds bad, but I don't believe it's supposed to be taste that drops out of your mouth. You know, I believe it should be duty. Because here's the thing, right? I think we're looking for happiness because I think we're not happy first. And so we're looking for somebody to come and bring that happiness to us. And when we not happy no
Absolutely.
more, that's why it's always changing. I'm not happy with you anymore. You was not supposed to be happy with me. It's like this right here. People say sometimes when you talk about money, people quick to say money don't make you happy. It's not supposed to make you happy. It's supposed to make you spend and buy things and buy clothes and pay for your bills, right?
Absolutely.
Marriage isn't supposed to make you happy either. It's supposed to make you, join a team and work towards the goals. And I think we join in, like food. Food don't make you happy. Actually, food could make you miserable. Food could make you
Mhm.
overweight. Food could make you. So we always looking for happiness in things, marriage, relationship, and I think that's our biggest mistake. And I think at this point in my life, I'm not looking for happiness because that's my job.
Absolutely.
You
Hmm.
know what I mean? I think that's my job for myself. Now, knowing that that is my job, and if I have happiness, I could assist you with yours. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
I could assist you
Pretty much.
with if you ain't there yet, I could help you in certain
Yes.
ways.
Hmm.
But I think now we no longer happy with you. Listen, figure it out.
Hmm.
Figure, figure it come out.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But that's what I've learned now at this place in my
Okay.
life. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm tripping. So
No, I agree
so you
with
went
you.
through a divorce.
Hmm.
So here's life after divorce. Now, three children by yourself. You said that you never really, you was a stay-at-home mom. So now you have to, what is different now in your life? How is your life different now?
Oh, it's completely different because first of all, I had a 28-day notice that now everything is my responsibility. That I once shared with this other individual because it was two of us. And now I had to figure out like, okay, what's my next step? Because everything that I do is commission based. So I have to create my income. There is no, I don't clock in and and I knew that for several reasons. One medically, about going to a job, but I know a job can't pay me my worth. And that's not to be arrogant or anything. It's just I know the type of money I need and I know the type of hours, but I love my freedom. And so what it taught me though, it gave me strength and courage. And I would tell this to anyone. I never thought that I could live by myself. I've never, in almost 53 years, I've never lived on my own. When I did live, I've always been with roommates. So, and then I went into marriage. But it's not what happened from my mentor, Mr. Darnell Self says. It's not what happened to you, it's what happened for you. This has been one of the greatest year that I've ever had in my life. And the
Wow.
reason is because I know now what I'm made of. Like my light was dim. And sometime, but this is something that my ex told me and respectfully. And he told me, he was like, when I leave, your life is getting ready to prosper. Your business, you're gonna win your trip. It was a trip that I was working for my other business. I did go to Jamaica for free. I did get my ring, my 50K ring. Everything he said, even your business, in my catering business, it's going to prosper when I leave. And when I tell you, it was no lie. Everything that he spoke, it has happened. It's come to pass. Because what we have to understand, and this is just my philosophy, and this is what I tell myself every day, the righteous will never be forsaken. I'm not going to ever beg for bread. I sit at the table. And my father, God has taken, when I tell you he's taking care of me, it's not a bill that's been missed. I've paid off debt and I will be debt free before by the end of this year. I'm working on
Oh,
seven figures. And I don't have to know the why, the how. That's not my responsibility. I just put it in the atmosphere. This is going to be my highest month because it's my birthday month. And I've been getting catering. I mean, literally every day. Like today, I literally stayed up 24 hours because I had two events. And tomorrow I have one. I thought I was going to be off. Next week I have three. So for me, I feel like my life has changed tremendously in a good way because my light can shine. I don't have to dim my light for anyone to make anybody else feel, you know, you're not going to put, I hid behind a lot of things because I didn't understand my own power. I didn't have a voice. And now I have a voice and I'm a boss lady. And I get to take care of myself, my children, and I get to show my daughter and my sons the strength that lies within me. And they're encouraged because they're trying to understand how I'm doing it myself when I never thought that I could do this. But it's been the best gift for me.
what is the worst thing about this divorce that you just been through? What's the worst thing that you experienced since then, since the divorce?
I think for me, the worst thing before I experienced the divorce and while I was here, being here 3.5 years as a roommate, was my kids, my son. Like it wasn't about me. It was literally I was more worried about my son not being able to adapt or adjust. That's the hardest thing because for me that feels like an abandonment. Even though his father takes care. I mean, that's not even a question. He's an incredible father. And so that's what I was more afraid of in starting over because That's all I know is to be a wife. I've been married almost, I was with you 27 years. And I felt like, and divorce really is a death, because and you grieve and you go through all the things of a death.
Yeah.
They're just a walking corpse that you have to
Right.
see, because everything that happened when they die, they no longer live with you. All the clothes are gone. You won't see them. You know what I mean? And they're not
Yeah.
living on the same roof. So I
Right.
went through that. That was the hardest
Mm-hmm.
thing for me, worrying about my son, honestly, and how he was going to adapt. And I know that even though he loves both of us, that's my kids only knew us as a
Yeah.
team. And now we're not a team, and then my ex is about to start a new life with someone else. So those were the things that was the most challenging for me with the divorce, with was the kids, honestly, more than myself.
Did he meet that woman on that trip?
Yes, they built a
Right?
relationship. Yeah. Hmm.
Them damn trips, man. Hey, listen, them damn trips. The trouble. Yeah, I'm taking a. Speaking of, I'm taking a trip next month. Just me.
That,
I'll
okay,
mix
as
it up with
long as
each
your
other.
wife with you, because this will be a different
Oh, I
show.
need a trip.
Okay.
I need a trip. I need a curb trip. I need to get away from these kids, man. I've been a stay-at-home
Okay.
dad. You know, by the way, I'm a
Hmm.
stay-at-home dad. By the way, I got three of them jokers too. I got three. Them
See what I'm
people's a lot.
saying? That number, Kurt, is something about them three.
But but the difference is, I tell them to go to take a nap. I ain't dealing with nobody's stuff. Go take a nap. You hungry? Go take a nap. You in a bad mood? Go take a nap. I ain't about to deal with you and your drama. Go take a nap. Go upstairs. Okay, I changed my mind. I'm not angry no more. You sure? Because if you are, go take a nap. Sleep
Go
it
take
off.
a
'Cause I
nap.
ain't about to deal
Okay.
with you. I know I know how to deal with you. Hey, thank you, Michael. Michael said you couldn't have picked a better person to speak on this topic. She's a real one here. This Michael Reese. You probably know
Oh, I do. I
this
do. I
person.
do. That's
Okay.
one of my best friends. I do want to share this for, and I'm not, just remind, this is for everybody, but I'm speaking especially for my women. One of the things that I've discovered and learned, period, is that a lot of, and this is both men and women, but a lot of women stay in relationships that no longer serve them because we are afraid that we won't be able to make it, especially because due to financial situation. So there are a lot of people that are married on paper, but they're not married. They literally are staying for the children. They're staying and they're miserable.
Yeah,
Um,
I've heard
and
that.
you know what I'm saying? But when you look at a finance, like I was not going anywhere. This man wasn't with me. He was living on the same roof with me for 3.5 years. But I stayed, and then I asked myself, why did you allow that treatment? What was going on with you, Sonya, that you allowed that to happen? And those are the questions that you have to ask yourself, because there was something internally going on with me that I didn't trust the process, and I was forced to rely not just on myself. For me, now I got to totally rely on myself, my talents, and God, because I have to pay these bills. I don't get to take off. You don't have a choice. When I had a partner, if I wanted to chill for a few days, I could. Now that's not the case, because the responsibility lies completely on me now. Is that fair? No. Was I angry? I'm still angry. I'm like, Joker, I ain't trying to do all these bills by myself. This not what I signed up for. But in spite of it, I'm a bad woman. And I know that. Like, my strength and who I am and who I have become and where I'm going. And I thank God every day for my friends. If it wasn't for my friends, honey, I wouldn't be here. And people praying with me and for me, and just helping me, because this is no joke. Who wants? I never wanted a divorce,
Yeah.
ever. I tried everything. You want to do marriage counseling, but the person didn't want that, and you can't force someone to want you. And that was another one that you did, real, that you did. And that's what it's like. Let them go. They don't want you. Why are you trying to force someone to love you? And that's what I believe. I kept, the more and more I did, I feel like the more, the worse it got, because No matter what I did, I can't force you to love me. I can't make you love me. Didn't matter how much good I did. I was never, for me, I was never going to be good enough for a person that didn't want to be with me. Period.
You know, there was a song that I remember what you were singing. I can't make you love me if you
Yes.
don't. You
Absolutely. That's the
can't
song.
make it happy. Something. I don't remember it. So then let me
Yeah.
ask you, are you thinking about dating in the future? Or is that a thing, or getting
Oh no,
remarried, or
absolutely,
what does
honey.
that look
Absolutely. I'm getting married. My Boaz. He looking for me, but right now I'm being worked on. I got to work on myself. He's being worked on. So when we come together, absolutely. One mic ain't gonna stop
like?
no show. I'm definitely gonna be married.
What work? When you say you got to work on yourself, what does that mean? Because I hear people say this all the time. What
hmm
does it mean?
Well, for me, in my space, I'm learning how to be content with being alone. Because I was never that person. I always had, my mother was like that. I always had to have people around me because of my codependency. Now, sweetheart, I live in here by myself. I turn the alarm on. I can go to sleep peacefully. And that was never the case because people were the ones that I thought I had to get my happiness from. And right now, getting to know the things that I like. Now, I may not know everything that I want in a relationship, but I promise you, Kirk, I will not settle for anything that I don't want. Like I wouldn't. I'm not dealing with a selfish man.
You gotta know.
If
You gotta know
I'm
what you
not,
want first.
what did you say, Kirk?
You gotta know what you want first.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm learning. One thing I don't want. I don't. I want to be your queen. I want to be the woman like you, my character. I'm funny. I'm crazy. All my friends know. I know all the good and bad things about me, the bad habits. I mean, things I can change and become better in. But I don't need you to fix me. And I think a lot of time in relationship, that's what we're doing. We're not listening to our partners. We're trying to fix them and make them something and become someone that they're not. Allow me to be who I am. Love me like that girl crazy. But baby, that's my baby. I love her. I love everything about it. You know what I'm saying? Accept me. That doesn't mean that there's not room for improvement with me. And I'm always going to make myself better. But just love me. Because if you know me, I am the person that you want to love
Okay,
because that's
okay,
my heart.
okay.
I'm a giver. You know what I'm saying? I'm a giving person, and I don't want to have to change to become something for somebody else and be miserable. And that's what I was doing. I dimmed my light in order to make your light shine. That's not happening. We are going to be a partner and have a partnership.
You know, here, but let me tell you what's. So let me speak for a second when it comes to
Okay,
this.
go ahead.
I was talking to. I was speaking to another lady today. I had a few calls today. I had a few appointments today. I was speaking to a lady, and she went through a divorce. And the thing about us is that when we go through a divorce and those harsh life changes, right? Because it's like you said, it's like you grieving. It's like a death in the family.
Mhm,
Like you're grieving
mhm.
a living person, and it's harsh, right? Especially
Yes.
when someone, well, just when somebody hurts you or when you were disappointed. And I
hmm
think a lot of times, man, a lot of times, what happens that we don't understand is how our minds. So I want to leave this with you, right? How the mind really works. This is where I'm good at. I'm not good at
Okay.
anything else. This is what I'm good at. Is how the mind really works. And how the mind really works is that naturally you resist what you don't want, right? You are the
Yes.
pain, that suffering,
hmm
that divorce, that breakup, that grieving, and so the mind always goes naturally because the fear is there, right? I don't want this again. I can't handle this
Absolutely.
because I realize when I ask you about what you want, you went straight to what you don't. First thing, what I don't want. But let me tell you this. Here's the trick.
Absolutely.
Here, here's the trick.
Okay.
The things that you're afraid of and the things that you are resisting gonna be a stronger feeling. So when you say I want a man like this and that and
hmm
this, the feeling is not there. But when you say I don't want a man like this and that,
hmm
you remember the feeling and the feeling over embodies you. And so in that feeling is what you attract. You are using to attract, right? That feeling alone. So
Yes,
when you say,
that
when
makes
you think
sense.
and feel this is not what I want, that
Mhm.
feeling is stronger because you have this but when you speak about what I want, you don't have it's different.
The same passion. Okay, the same passion. I
Right.
understand that.
It's not the
Okay.
same passion. So the
Mhm.
stronger feeling is what wins. So
I
I don't
got
want
you.
this, brings a feeling. I want this, don't bring a feeling. The one that you don't want wins. So therefore, that's the one that comes. So I just want you to be mindful because I think
Okay.
the worst things that we go through, the really bad things that we go through, is what we resist the most. And this is why we keep experiencing it over and
And
over.
over.
We meet the next person, we're going to meet the same thing, the same trauma, the same experience again with different faces because the feeling don't go nowhere. So we have to be mindful. So one a part of this healing is to
Okay.
understand. You have to understand that if you're going to live in this awareness, it's like, for instance, if you're going to be in this new consciousness,
Okay.
you have to leave the old one behind.
Yes.
Everything
Okay.
from the old one. Everything. You have to leave it alone. It's no longer powerful in this life because this is no longer useful here. And it's the
Absolutely.
hardest things to do because the mind is going to resist because the fear of feeling the pain, the fear of feeling this again, I want to go through this again, that's in your spirit now. So now you only have to focus. So the question is, again, what is it that you want? You have to know that the answer has to be, you have to know it. What do you want? And when you talk about what you want, you can
Mhm.
only focus on that alone. Nothing else. Nothing else can be in your spirit. Nothing can be in your mind. Nothing can be in your heart. No fear, no doubt, no guilt. What does Sonya want? Because Sonya says she's want to be a queen, but what do you want in your king? You have to know.
Mm. Okay.
You have to know. That's the
Hmm.
hard part.
I like that.
That's the
Okay.
part. Yeah, that's the part that takes practice. It really takes practice because
Hmm.
it's about not being that double-minded person that I say I want this, but I feel,
Hmm.
what if it happens again? I want this, but I'm scared. So that's the double-minded. That's the division between a double-minded a person is unstable in all their ways. You have to learn to be focused and trust. That's the part. That's the life after divorce part that you have to forget. And it's not that you have to forget because you can't
Hmm.
forget, but you have to
Absolutely.
focus.
Hmm.
You have to
Hmm.
focus. So don't forget, but focus.
Okay.
Them two F words. Them two F words will F with you every single time. Don't forget, but you have to focus on exactly what you desire.
Hmm. Okay.
See what
You
I'm saying?
can't pour
So
the
that's the
old, you
hard part.
can't pour old wine into new wine skin. I
New
got you.
wineskin, indeed. That's what it is.
Hmm.
That's what it is. So, but do you see yourself getting married again?
Absolutely.
Do
Absolutely.
you do you actually still believe marriage is a beautiful thing?
Absolutely. I love it. I love being married. I mean, even though I'm divorced, but that wasn't my choice.
Mm,
Um, I had to respect the wishes of the other person. And I was willing to do everything, the marriage counsel, all the things to fight for it. You know what I mean? And I
yeah.
felt like I truly believed and felt like if there was another voice of reason outside of both myself and that person, I believe that marriage could have been saved. That's just me. And I may be wrong, but I do believe that because sometimes when you just keep bumping heads and you don't see eye to eye, a third, someone from a different perspective, outside perspective, can help both of you guys,
Oh,
or just to be able to communicate with each other without all the feelings, emotions, and anger, things like that.
indeed, indeed. Well, I see that you're doing good.
I
I see
I can't
life
hear you,
is
Kurt.
good. Oh, you can't hear me? You still can't hear me? Mic check, mic check. Can you guys hear me? Am I lost? Let me see.
I don't know why I can't hear it.
Oh, can you hear
Say
me now?
something. I don't.
Still can't hear me? Oh man, I don't know what happened. So
Oh,
you
I
guys
can
can
hear
hear
you now.
me.
I can hear you
Can
now.
you hear me now?
I
Okay.
can.
Yeah. I think it's probably because you lost connection a bit. Okay, I think for you, was connection a bit. But I was saying, I see that you are doing good now. I see that you're doing. You still, you keep your head up. I believe you have to be very strong and fight. That's a good fight to stand up and stay up because
Yes.
your whole world, I think, shifted. The earth shifted under your feet. And I think it opened up to your own new strengths, right? Because
Mhm.
what did you find out
Yes.
about yourself in this past year? What did you find out? Learn about yourself.
Well, I found out that I was resilient, but I also found out honestly that God was preparing me for my divorce. I just didn't realize
Yeah.
it. And I know that might sound a little crazy, like what? But yeah, he was because I was trying to find something new, something different. And I remember praying because I wanted to get out of debt. And I got my family out of debt. Um, and I asked him for a new vehicle to do that. And that's how the cooking and catering started, which I did not, I resisted and I did not want to do at all. That has never been anything, and it's still not something that I would just sign up for, because that's just not something I thought I was good at. But this is, my he said your gifts will make room for you. And so because I understood the assignment, I paid the debt off, I saved money, I learned different things about managing money, and I taught myself a system of how to get out of debt and save money. And a lot of times what we do as women, the downfall of us going back to us staying there is we don't have our own money. And I'll tell any woman, um, you make sure that you have your own money. You make sure that you understand the finances. You make sure you know everything that's going on in the marriage because you don't want to be blindsided and sit there. A lot of times we allow the men to handle, and I'm not saying the man can't handle finance if that's what he's great at, but you still need to be in the know because you'll be getting an eviction notice because you're sitting there not understanding the assignment. You have to know what's
Mm,
going on. And I saved money. That was the reason I saved money. I was disciplined. I paid off my debt. That was the reason I was able, after 28 days of notice, to be able to still live on my own and to be able to maintain because I didn't have a zero balance, if that makes sense. And so
mm,
my biggest accomplishment for myself is understanding how to manage money. And I didn't come from that background because my mother, I definitely didn't learn it from my mom, no offense, and anybody in my family. It was something that I taught myself, and I discovered that that's a strength of mine, and that's what I'm doing now. And so that is my resilience, that I will have everything that I say I'll have. I'm just a very patient person. And once I put it out in the universe, I allow God and the universe to do what they need to do. I just have to believe it for myself and to
mm.
have a mustard seed of faith of it. That's where I am. And that's what I'm
Indeed,
doing now.
indeed. Okay.
And
So I
traveling.
see that you are okay. Okay. I see that you're doing catering. What type of food do you cater to, or what type of food do you make or cater, and where do you operate from? What state and what city?
I am in Stockbridge, Georgia, and I'm the queen of salads. But I cook
Oh,
all foods. Like, I mean, today I had to do lasagna, Alfredo, greens, beans. I mean, a slew of food, pork chops, ham, whatever you need. If I don't know how to do it, I'll teach myself how to do it because YouTube
oh yeah.
University is excellent. Keto, I taught myself how to do keto because a lot of my clients, when I first started, they needed meal prep. So I taught myself how to do keto pizza, macaroni cheese, mashed potatoes, so that they can have a better, way of eating carbs, a more healthier way. So I do anything, and what I can't do, I have other people that can assist me with it.
Okay. And you love what you do.
Now I ain't gonna say I love what I do, Kirk. I love the results of people loving my food. I don't like the prep, the cooking, it's a whole lot of work on your body. Like I said, I stayed up 24 hours, honey. Um, but I do love what I love when people respond to my food. I love how it makes them feel. And that's what makes me happy. That you enjoy what I've done for you. That's my enjoyment.
Okay, this must be one of your friends, huh? Janelle.
Yes. Yes.
Your friend showed up. So, you said that you've been dealing with your weight for many years. How are you working on that now? Oh, how are you doing with that now?
Um, I'm doing okay. I can do better if I'm obedient, then I'll be doing better. Um, it's still a struggle of mine because I honestly think it's all in my mind, and I haven't changed my mindset and understanding the root cause of why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I really believe that it doesn't stem from just the current person that I am. I believe it's dealt because I'm in therapy. So I believe it is dealing with a lot of the trauma that happened when I was a younger girl. And I haven't dealt with what's really dealing with me on the inside. The outside I can fix, I can dress it up. But it's the inside that I fight and I resist the most because I don't want to go through the pain and the feelings you know what I'm saying, like finding out where this really started from, because my weight um situation started when I was 10, and that's when my mother basically prevented me from going and play like I was as a child. So I basically became an adult at that age, and I used food as my drug of choice. And I didn't know that I was becoming addicted to it because when I couldn't talk and I didn't have a voice, I suppressed with the food. Same thing in the marriage, same thing when my mother didn't listen. And I didn't know that. So right now, I have to make a conscious effort and decision every day to deny myself because what I realize is that I feed my flesh more than I feed my spiritual, if that makes sense. And
Mhm.
and it's almost like I know what the word says, but I'm not giving it the power because I give in more to my flesh than what I need to do spiritually. And I'm not
Mm.
dying to myself, the old self. It's like what you said, the old is gone, but the new is here. But that's I've become comfortable in my uncomfortability, even though it's like that animal sitting on the dog sitting on the nail. It just ain't hurting bad enough for you to change.
Mm. Why, why did you pick that? Why did you pick that color shirt to wear today?
Um, the color. Oh, because I love earth. I love earth tone. And in all honesty, Kurt, because when I woke up, I literally had 20 minutes to get rid of. I just grabbed something and I needed some color. I needed color on camera. So, but I love earth tone. I love orange, brown. That's just what I do.
What color is that shirt?
This is burnt orange.
So you know what orange represents, right?
I do not, but I know
So
you do.
let me say a couple things. You don't have to agree or disagree because if it's not nice to,
Okay.
or if it's not, acceptable, just um, you don't have to agree, deny or agree or something.
Mhm.
But the reason why I asked you that question specifically is because a lot of times that orange, and it do look red, that orange represent a woman who um, often or who struggled with sexual abuse at a young age, or
Yes.
sexuality. That a woman who um, her womb space is not healthy, right?
Yes.
Um, Addiction, uh, easily isolated, a woman who is never feeling free to be herself, right? She hides behind certain things. A woman
Absolutely.
who has hysterectomy, and a woman who has dealt with issues and that issues in the I cannot speak today. I don't know why.
The
I
womb.
don't know what it is.
The
Yeah, I just
womb.
don't know why.
Mhm.
It's, yeah, I just feel blocked. I just maybe I shouldn't. Um, the person who a lot of times is experiencing or who experience trauma in their womb, but a lot of times it stems from abuse at a young age. And so a lot of times that's where the lack of control and the weight come from also is the way how you view yourself. And a lot of times, oftentimes that person usually, and I'm just talking about the color. I could be wrong.
Okay. Hmm.
Hey
No,
Morocco,
you're fine. Go
but
ahead.
I could be wrong. But a lot of times it creates a person who carries a lot of guilt and shame and somebody who's stuck in their emotional ways and down, up and down. And that has a big part to do with the weight gain and the keeping the weight on. And it is very hard, right? I mean, it's very challenging. And so, based on the words that you used earlier, that's the
Hmm.
only why I'm saying those things because it matches. That's why I ask you about that color because everyone who I speak to unconsciously wears the color that I believe is going on or blocked.
Mm, absolutely.
Now, what I just said, does any one of those things make sense?
Oh, absolutely. And all of that is for me, I can relate because that was my life, everything that you just said.
Mm.
And it did start as a child in dealing with the abuse and different things of that nature and finding and I feel like I've been fighting a war and a battle since I was a little girl because I literally couldn't be the little girl because I had to protect myself from individuals that was trying, to pursue me or and and in some cases, that situation did happen. And so the little girl that's in me is, I guess she's still wounded and hurting or afraid to release and let go and don't know how to deal with that, those certain that trauma that took place. And there is a lot of insecurity there, and a lot of time we mask things. Like for me, my biggest thing was my mask is comedy. So, everybody's like, "Girl, you're a comedian," but I believe I use the comedy to hide the hurt, the shame,
Mhm.
um, and I wore so many masks growing up as a young girl that some days I didn't know which one I was wearing because I felt like
Right,
I was a
right.
performer. I was performing. And if I make you laugh or if I don't get too deep, that means you won't ask me more questions. You know what I'm saying? I won't have to let you
Yeah,
in that
right.
space that I was really hurting.
If you, I know you have children, but let me explain this to you, and
Okay.
let's put it in that way. It's something that you've been dealing with, and you said you mentioned the little child in you. Hey, Morocco, it's good to see you. You mentioned the little girl in you. Here's the thing about the little girl, and here's the thing about you being a woman now, right? So there's a little
Mhm.
girl who never had what you needed or what she needed, but the woman now can provide it. And the first thing that you need to, like when you have kids, the first thing that they need to experience is being safe, feeling safe. If you begin to practice, because it's a practice that you have to do intentionally, you got to take some time every day and separate yourself and to bring yourself into feeling safe. When you begin to feel safe, the little girl is calm. She is calm. She is relaxed. She's not hurt. If you don't feel safe, that little girl act out. She acts the ass. She really do. So a part of that orange and this red, I don't know why I do this when I meet people. I wear the colors that automatically I'm just drawn to it. I don't know if that's the gift God gave me or what, but I
Mhm.
use colors as just an example of baseline. It's not saying something is bad or good. It's just a
Absolutely.
general baseline. But
Mhm.
here's the thing: you have to teach that girl how to be safe by being the example of how to be safe. So now what you have to do, you have to naturally, we don't practice that. We practice what we have been exposed to. It comes naturally, right? It becomes
Mhm.
naturally. So as soon as we begin to learn to be safe, feel being safe, allow ourselves to separate ourselves and practice being safe, we begin to recondition our body. we begin to recondition our spirit and we begin to feed the past from the present. And so the little girl inside of you, she becomes very calm. She begins to feel safe because, like, you are the mother of the girl. So the child looks at this mother and she does or feel whatever the mother is feeling. And that's within all parents. The child will look at you first and see if your facial expression, if you know that if you look scared, she gets scared. If you look this, and that's what children do. So you have to set the example and you have to be intentional when it comes to that that what do you call it? Child, what do you call it? Child something. That
Prodigy. I'm not sure.
that child trauma. That what do you call it? Young child.
Prodigy,
You
child
know,
prodigy. That's what it is.
that early child. You know, I don't know how to say those things because I don't. I'm not. But learning to be safe, learning to feel safe, and practice that safe, and experience that safe, and practice it every single day. That's what I had to do when I came back from Iraq a couple times because I was caught up in the war. My mind was in the war. My mind was
Mhm.
in. I was in turmoil. I was being PTSD'd out. Anxiety disorder. I was suffering. I was struggling, and I had to learn. Hey, focus. I'm here. Focus. And so I had to stay, sit by myself, wake up in the morning, practice being safe. I am safe. I am safe. I had to, if I was safe, what would I feel? What would I be doing? If I was safe, what would I be thinking? If I was safe. And I had to see those things on a daily basis. And after a while, my body began to adjust to the practice and the consistency of me being safe. And next thing I know, Lord, my anxiety, my depression, but it took a long time, but you have to be intentionally practicing that. This is the what I will leave with you. We have to practice because I'm telling you, when it comes from childhood trauma, right? When it comes from childhood, the things that we carry, if we don't understand, you don't have to fix anything. But what you have to do, you have to practice the things that you wasn't doing. So if you wasn't feeling safe, if you was feeling you was running for your life, you was feeling unhealthy, you was feeling shame and guilt. Now you've been doing that so often and so easy, those feelings come very easily. Those,
Yes.
those feet, anything can trigger those feelings. But now it's up to us now to learn to reconnect to that safe feeling, that I am feeling, that powerful feeling. But to connect to that, you have to practice. You have to recondition the body. You have to reset. And to reset, you have to give your body another experience. Give your body new emotions that you have been, you have not been experiencing. Give your body new emotions. Give them new emotions. Give them the emotions that you want. Allow the body to feel happy. Allow it to feel fulfilled. But to feel fulfilled, you have to use emotions. And you have to, because I talked to a client today, and a lot of women can't feel. Do you know, a lot of women can't feel. They don't know how to put the feeling in. They don't know how to create a feeling. And a lot of people can't feel. I had a couple clients who cannot feel. So it was all, so everything that you're in, every relationship, every situation, is going to be dangerous because feeling is the power. And when you are when your feelings are dissociated, it's very traumatic. So you have to teach yourself every single day to feel this. And to feel it, you just have to ask, if I was safe, how would I feel? If if God provide, and these questions are simple as, if God provides all my needs, and if God is in the room with me right now, and if the angels of God descend from heaven and it stays around me, and He says, I will never leave you or forsake you, how would that make me feel? And when you think about that question and the feeling, you begin to, I would feel like this. You can't explain it with
Expand.
words, right? But
You
you get
begin.
into, that's what I would feel. And so you got to practice that feeling every day. Give your body that feeling. Give your body that love. Give it that respect. Give it that appreciation. Feel it. Feel it. Feel it. Tomorrow. I don't care how you feel. I don't care if you're tired. Feel it. Feel it. And after a while, the body begin to get,
In
let me
alignment.
create this feeling now. Right.
Mhm. Okay.
And then therefore, then the people that you meet would be different.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kirk. I love it. I do.
Of
It's a
course.
safe space when you said about the safe, because the anxiety, the anxiousness, all the different
Mhm.
things. And it's like you have to exhale, but you have to be
Mhm.
intentional about getting still so that you can breathe. And so okay, I got it. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that breathe, that breath. Now, I see somebody mention something. Somebody said, "What I believe colors have no identity. God is the key to fulfill life. It is the cross that set up free and the back." And we say things like that, but we don't understand that everything is you. Listen, you know why God made all these different things? We always separate God from everything else. I don't know why we do this. We separate God. Now, I mentioned certain things, and first thing, I think those things threaten people's beliefs. It's not supposed to threaten your belief. Like, for instance, when you walk in the grocery store, right? When you walk in the
Mhm.
grocery store, when you go to Walmart and you go to the produce aisle, there are some fruits and vegetables that sticks out to you. There are some
Yes.
fruits. Let me ask you a question. If you could think about it, the last time you went to the grocery store, which fruits or vegetable stuck out to you? Like just it just stuck out. Not the ones that you like or don't
Watermelon.
like. Which one? Watermelon.
Watermelon.
What color is watermelon?
Red.
There you go. See, red, and you see what red is the color of safety. That's what red is,
Mhm.
safe and security,
Mhm.
right? And so when we begin to think God and everything is separated, it's crazy because God made everything. Everything
Yes.
is made by God. Everything is grown by God. So therefore, we have things within us that tells us something is off. Something is off. Something is off. And so we are drawn to certain colors. And it's not that there's a power in the color. That it's not you worship colors. I think people confuse that. You don't worship colors. You don't pray to colors. It's not. It's just a message. It's like me coming to you and say, "Hey, your spirit feels a little funny," right? But instead, subconsciously, you are drawn to certain color. A color just reflects a certain type of energy.
Yeah.
Green and red is the color. Green is the color of your heart. It means that your heart has been broken, right? It means your heart, your trust has been tampered with, right? It means that
Yes.
somebody has disappointed you and your heart is. And so watermelon is a perfect combination with green and red. You think that by any chance is a coincidence? It's never a coincidence. It's never a coincidence. So I think God made everything to put us back. Hey, because we are part of the earth. We
Mhm.
are from
Absolutely.
dust. You came from dust. You have to go back to. So everything is connected to us. So I just want to put that out there because I think people take God and put God over here, but everything else is here. You can't do that. You know what I mean? You got to put everything together
Yes.
because everything is one. There's only one universe. Universe, one song. Uni means one. Verse means song. The universe is one song. Everything comes together and make one harmony. And everything, when something is different, it will tell you something is off. Colors, this, your family, your friends, something will tell you that you are off. And that's all it is. So it's not saying to take your faith from God, from God, and place it in colors. That's not what I'm saying. Just to
Absolutely.
make sure that the audience understand what
Hmm.
I'm saying. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean?
Hmm. Hmm. I understand.
But yeah. So yeah, so just practice being safe, practice feeling safe, and see what happens. You
Hmm.
might be surprised that you might just feel different.
Yes, and help me with my anxiety. Hmm.
Yeah, oh, anxiety would be helped with that for sure. Because red and orange, if you look at my stuff, red is right here, orange is right here. The burnt orange is the bill, is right between here. Red,
No.
orange. Burnt orange is a mixture of both. It's a mixture of both. You have the perfect color.
Thank you.
It's not. It's not a coincidence. It's
Well,
not. It's not
thank
a
you.
coincidence at all.
Mhm.
You're very welcome.
Mhm.
I thank you so much for coming up here and sharing your story, being vulnerable and open. I think many people will find this very open and find their own healing or their own reason to heal in conversations like these. What do you want to leave, or what other comments would you like to um, bring?
To close out with.
Mhm.
Well, first of all, I just want to thank you for giving me an opportunity. This was divine because I reached out to you and I told you told you I was going to be on here with you, just so that what I would like to hear, even in the future and even now, is that men get to ask questions to women and women get to ask men questions, because a lot of times we're looking at our own perception because we're women and we think alike and we want this. But I feel like we need to know both sides. We need to know how a male thinks and we need to know how a female thinks. And it's not a right or wrong thing. It's just listening to another perspective of things. Because, like, you just made a lot of things clear to me that I wasn't aware of. You know what I mean? It's just an awareness. And whatever I take from it, I take from it. And if I use it, great. If I don't, great. But you just explain, your perception of things. Um, and I just want to help a lot of my goal. Like, if you ask me what I'm passionate about, it's women in ministry and wanting women to win and not to be afraid to step out and not to be afraid to release what is no longer serving them, whether that's a relationship, a job, or something. You know what I'm saying? Because we only have one life and we have to live it
Hmm.
to the full. And right now, my goal for this year, and I mean that on everything, I'm enjoying traveling. I've always wanted to, and now I get to do that, without restraints, I should say. And I can do it, with my kids, with my friends. I'm looking for different ways to find out what it is that I want to contribute, before I leave under the dust. And I know for me sharing my story is going to give a woman hope that she too can make it. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I was forced in this. This is not what I asked for. So what I did, I made lemonade out of lemons. And I'm going to continue to thrive and continue to grow and become a better version of myself because I'm learning so much about myself. And that little girl who was afraid and like, oh my God, how am I going to make it? That's just not where I am. I know that I can do all things now, because like I said, I celebrated 1 year on March 28th when my ex-husband left. And I haven't lost anything. I'm honestly gained everything, due to the fact that I believed in myself and I believe in the one that created me, that he's always going to provide no matter what. I didn't say it was easy. And I
Right,
didn't
right.
say I want to do I didn't say I want to do it by myself. I'm just telling you the truth, but right now this is just a temporary spot. And the last thing I'm gonna say is I believe that right now that I'm being reserved and I'm being protected. Even in a relationship. And I feel like that's a good thing because honestly, the things that you shared. Because if I'm not healed, in one of my philosophies, I don't want the person that I feel that could be my great partner, or if I get married or whatever, I don't want that person to suffer. I don't want to punish that person for what someone else did because I didn't heal properly. I didn't identify and I'm not dealing with me. I need to make sure that I'm healthy and whole before I welcome anyone back into my space so that I can really, enjoy the person that we're going to be together. But right now, I'm working on me, and learning more about myself, and things that I did. I could do better because it wasn't just about my ex-husband. There was things that I did and mistakes and things that I could have been better at, but hurt people. And honestly, that could have been a situation for me because we both came from different situations and never healed from those, and then we brought it together and it just didn't work out that way. But we have 3 beautiful children in spite of it. And so
Indeed.
that's what I want to
Indeed.
leave. I just want to set people free. Don't live in a prison. And if you're not happy, and I'm not just talking about happiness and a feeling, I'm saying if you know that then release the person, and release yourself so that you can be free. Because that's what happened for me. it was like, it was better for that person not to be with me because I wasn't what they wanted. You know what I mean? Instead of keeping that person in prison and like, okay, we got to wait for my son to graduate from, and then you leave.
Right, right.
Life is too short. So
You gotta set people free.
I'm
You gotta
where I
set people
am.
free.
Hmm.
The way to set yourself free is to set people free. If you don't set people
Absolutely.
free, you yourself can't be free because you have to be the prison guard. Because that prison that you
Hmm.
make for them, you have to guard it 24/7 to make sure that they don't leave. So you will never be free. And many of us don't realize that until you set people free, you cannot be free because if you gonna keep them in a prison in your mind, you have to be the guard. You have to be the guard on duty 24/7 because anybody is gonna be change shift with you. It's gonna be you guarding them, making sure that they don't leave. And I think that's why what keeps us trapped. People trying to go and we don't want them to go, but we are always on guard, thinking, what if they escape? What if they escape? What if they escape? You know, sound the alarm. And so our alarm is always off. And I think, it makes us anxious, it may give us anxiety. And that's the part that we need to understand. People ready to go, even though you may not agree with it, we have to set people free. Only when we are setting them free can we be set free too. Indeed.
Absolutely. You
So
said that perfectly.
I
Thank you.
appreciate
Absolutely.
I appreciate having you up here. I appreciate you telling your story. I appreciate your honesty and
Thank you.
your openness. That's a very beautiful thing that you can do because people. I think a lot of people are ashamed, especially when it comes to divorce. People are ashamed. People feel guilty. That people feel like a failure. I'm a failure. I don't want to tell my story. People are gonna hear it. People, my friends are gonna hear it, and because we put on a front, right? We put on a show, and for many of us put on a show and it says a lot when somebody can share their story without feeling ashamed, especially
Hmm.
it says a lot. So I appreciate you. I'm proud of you. Thank you, Rhonda. I'm very proud of you. I'm proud of the woman that you have become and that you are becoming.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I
So,
appreciate you. Thank you so much, Kurt.
yes, ma'am. So thank you all in the chat. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for supporting Miss Sonia. I think I spelled your name wrong and I didn't even realize that.
No, no, no.
How
My
I
my
spell it?
legal name is Sonja. That's right.
Yeah, and
That's right.
I spell it Sony.
No, no, no. That's how I spell it too.
Shamaka.
But legally it's spelled with a
Oh,
J, but I do the Y. That's my
oh,
thing. It
oh,
ain't
okay,
G.
okay.
You look.
Oh, so I'm like, am I tripping? I thought it was Sonya
No.
on Facebook.
Uh-uh.
Like,
Yeah, and that's how I say
huh?
it. Sony.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for showing up, and I will see you soon. All right, we'll talk
All
again.
right.
I'm
Thank
sure.
you. Y'all have a great night.
No
Happy Mother's
problem.
Day to everyone.
Same to
Thank you.
Happy
Okay.
Mother's
Bye
Day.
bye.
All right, you guys. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for coming up here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. I know that you guys didn't have a lot of questions. I see you had comments and stuff. I want to start bringing people up here from time to time. Maybe back to my Fridays. Um, my Friday. Give me a second. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, this I want to start bringing people up to tell their stories because I think many of us have some great stories, some stories that we can all learn from, some stories that we can all hear and see ourselves in their stories. And I think we have to understand, and when we see ourselves in people, I think we make some better decisions. You know what I'm saying? I think we can make some better decisions because many of us are afraid to make decisions. And I think one of the biggest decisions is a divorce. Life has changed. There's life is different after a divorce. I've been divorced before. Life was terrible. I know even as a man, I was as a man going through a divorce for 12, 13 years ago. I think it was one of the worst thing I've ever experienced. I think it was worse than me going to Iraq. To not see that person anymore, to another person with someone else, to another person has moved on, to another person is elsewhere doing their own thing. It's hell. And I think sometimes many of us don't want to leave that place because We have, religious beliefs that support our marriage. We have all these things, but we're not happy. We're not peaceful. But I think part of our job is to be happy now. Your words like, thank you, Miranda. I think part of our job is to be happy now. We gotta be happy now. We gotta be happy now. We gotta be happy now. I think this is the time to be happy. And then when you meet someone could just, they could just be themselves and you be happy anyway. And I think that's the part that we need to remember. So you guys, thanks for showing up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It hurts the heart. I think, like right now, I think a lot of our hearts. What's up, London? How we doing? I think a lot of our hearts are broken right now. I think a lot of us have broken hearts. If we look at our world, we'll see. If we look at the state of our world, we'll see. We'll agree. If we really pay attention to around us, you're gonna see a lot of us have broken hearts. We lack empathy, compassion, love, and trust. We just lack a lot of things. Hey, Nikki. And so, if we be mindful, we're gonna realize it's time for us to start loving. The antidote for a heartbreak is to love. The antidote for a heartbreak is actually to love. It's not to hide. It's not to lose your trust. It's not to lose your hope. The antidote for a heartbreak is to love anyway. Is to love still. Is to love fuller. And if we learn to do that, you're gonna realize if you only love once and one thing at a time, then that one thing becomes your whole focus. That one thing becomes your entire life. Because if you lose that thing, every part of your love goes with it. Seriously, if you lose that one thing, every part of your love goes with it. And so you're afraid, your identity goes with it. Your heart goes with it. And we have to learn to love. This is why the scripture tells us to love everyone, to love everything, fall in love with everything. And so when we give love to everything, you are less distracted because when you give love to everything in nature, everything gives you back. And sometimes human beings are the ones who just struggle with giving back love. Human beings. Human beings are the one that struggles the most because their minds and their fears. And so, but apart from humans, like if you love a pet, that pet, have you ever loved a dog? That dog will be that one thing that never leaves. A tree. If you ever loved a tree, the plant, every time you come in the room, that plant will show you love. Seriously. A bird, it doesn't matter what it is. Everything will give you back love. But human beings, they do give you back love, but they're afraid because they don't want to be hurt. They don't want to do it, sometimes they do it selfishly. But we have to fall in love with everything. We just can't love once. If you love once, it becomes too big. It becomes too big of your focus. Because now, if this thing goes, if this thing is gone, if this person is gone, we go crazy because all of our love is invested. It's like we are invested in one thing. If you put all your money in one thing, when that thing cracks, when it breaks, all your money is gone. Your whole security is gone. Everything is gone. And so you are always gonna be worried. You're always gonna be insecure. You're always gonna be, questioning. You're always gonna be checking up on things, making sure that you control what happens to it. You checking, because all your entire life is there. We have to learn to not make love a big thing. Love's supposed to be happen. It's supposed to happen every day. Seriously, seems too late. Men my age tend to want younger women. Men your age want a younger woman, but don't forget that you can be a younger woman to an older man. I think we have to look at it that way too, because I think many of us don't realize that you are a younger woman to an older man. Men want younger women. So if you are 30, an older man, right, will actually look at you, a 40-year-old, because you are still a younger woman. I think we don't realize that. I think when you think men want younger women, I think you think about a 20-year-old woman. No, we don't want 20-year-olds. We don't want 25-year-olds, not at this age. I mean, it sounds good, but you have to give up too much to have them because they don't know what they're doing yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, I was just talking to this guy just the other day. I think I'm going to bring him on my podcast on this. I'm going to try to bring him on soon. Um, Fit guy. And he just got with a younger woman, and he's telling me, "Hey, man, yeah, I'm done." I said, "What do you mean?" And she's not that young. She's in her 30s, late 30s, and he's 50, 51. But it was a first relationship. I mean, a first marriage, right? It was a first marriage. That was not. That was his second marriage. That was a first real. That was his. That that was not his. And so he has all the experience and stuff, and she wants him. But the thing is, you have to have patience. So, my brother, you have to have patience. You have to have patience. And so, because even though she's 38, he is 50. So he's still like a younger woman. Now you're 50. That man in his 60s love a younger woman. You are his younger. We have to understand sometimes it doesn't look like it's fair. I know women hate to hear me say this. Woman, you hate when I say this thing. You can't stand it. I don't know. I mean, I can figure out why, but you can't stand it because you really believe that a man has to look like you, be in your same physical look and this and that, and because you think that. And so, when you think about a 60-year-old man, you think about a man who has lost control of his bowel movement, his bowel, what's it called? Bowel movement. You think he lost control of his kidneys and his colon, and you think this fable dude that you gotta take care of. And I'm telling you, that's not what it is. So when you hear about an old man, you panic. But in all reality, if the truth is this, the overall truth, there will be nobody who finds you more valuable than a man who's older than you. Not a man your age. A man your age don't really find value in a woman their age. Seriously, the man your age don't really find value in a woman his age. A man usually finds more value 5 years, 10 years younger. I promise you, not 30 years. I don't want a 25. Listen, I don't want a 20. I want to do a 25-year-old woman, a 22 to just. She got to go through all phases of all these things. She got to do all these things. She's still doing school stuff. She's still starting her job. What are you going to do? Support her? I don't want to do that. I don't want you to look at me like just because I'm an older man, you gotta respect me. I want you to look at me as a partner, not as a father. I don't want to be a father. Stacy. But do you see what I'm saying? So you can't assume that when a man says he like younger woman, he's talking about a 25-year-old. He's talking about relatively young, not 25-year-old young. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you? Or it doesn't make sense? Because I think you all think that men want younger. We don't. And I think when you have this thought, your self-image your self-image and your self-belief begin to suffer for it. Your self-image begin to change. You begin to feel and believe. You begin to create a a belief system that you are too old. And when you begin to believe stuff like that, you make it true. You make it a fact. And you will prove to yourself that it's real. But it is not necessarily real. So you have to be careful about what you believe. If you believe that you are too old and men your age this, that's what you're going to encounter. You have to change the belief system. You have to change your belief system. You have to change your belief system. You must change your belief system. This is the biggest thing that affects us. Your belief system affects what you get into your life. And I know as you age, as you get older, but the other problem with women in their 50s and 40s, is when you find your second part of your life. Your first part, you had kids, you gained your weight, you did your thing, you had your whole phases, right? Let's be honest, you had your whole phases, the second part in your life, you are thinking differently. You start taking care of your body, you start going to the gym. Woman hit 45 on her life, she's like, oh, let me start going to the gym. It's hurt my image, but no interest in taking care of someone older. I hear you. Hey, Millie, you see what I'm saying? Now, when you hit 45, you want to start. Oh, let me start putting on my stuff. Let me start dressing this way. Let me start going to the gym. Let me start looking nice. But that's not necessarily what it is. I mean, that's what. But you expect men to do that too. Men don't. Our value is not based on that. Being honest. I mean, we don't see ourselves like that. Yes, you have a few men who do it, but generally, men. That was never men. Men was never that way. I don't know who we are getting that from. That was never what we are. We don't. We are not the beauty people. You are. We're not the ones who are beautiful. You are. We're not the ones who need to be dressed and this. We our value was never from that. Our value was we was outside, hands dirty, face dirty, feet dirty, toes messed up because you was working hard and you come in the house smelling like outside. You ever smell outside? And that's what we were. But all of a sudden, women want us to be pretty just like them. You want us to do our nails. You want us to do our nails. You want my nails to be manicured. Let's go to a pedicure. I don't want to go to a pedicure. I still do. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do my toes with you. I know it looks cute, but I don't want to do my toes with you. My man gonna do toes with me. I don't want to do my toes with you. Like, can I be? I don't want to be a woman. I don't want to be emotional. Like your type of emotion. I don't want to be that. And I think our problem is we don't accept each other for what we are, our differences. You want somebody like you to show to someone else and to bring to someone else, and you want to bring them to your family, you want to bring them to your, and they can say, "Oh my God, he is so well put together. Oh my God, he is educated. He is." Let me say this right. One of the worst men that you could date is a man who is charismatic. And no, I don't get it. One of the worst men that you could date is a man who's charming. Those are the men that you want, but those are the worst. Those intellectual men, they sound good. The words are great, but those intellect can go both ways. Intellect goes, it has two ends. It can cut you and it can build you. You have to be careful what you ask for. You are kind of quiet. You are still here? You are still there? Can you hear me? No? Why? I'm gonna make sure I'm still live because I probably was talking to myself for the past 20 minutes. Let me make sure I'm talking to myself. Oh, y'all went quiet on me. Maybe pause then you want his nails. I mean, yeah, I get it too. You're still there. Okay, good. You're still there. But man, I'm we have to be careful. We have to be careful. We have to be careful what we ask for. I don't want my woman to be like me. I don't want her to be like that. I don't want her to be hard and hard working and this and that. And I want her to be who she is. Hey, Kathy, long time no see. Oh, I want her. I don't know. I shouldn't be have to be like you. I think we should learn our differences and should be okay with our differences. Thank you. Thank you, Miranda. I think we should accept our differences. I don't want to be pretty. I don't have to come around you to turn you on. I gotta be all attractive and like those guys. And those guys, but when you meet these guys who are charismatic and the things that you want, charisma, he has to have charisma, right? And he has to be intellectual, and he has to be. Them people be practicing that crap. They practice what to say. They practice. People rehearse what they are saying to you all because they've done it so much. Because so many women approach them, so many women talk to them. They know what to say. Because it's not the first time, it's not the second time. You hate those awkward men, but those awkward men are those awkward. Listen, I'm telling you, them awkward men, they corny, but what they say is really what they want to say. I'm telling you, what they say is real. They don't know how to say anything else. They haven't rehearsed, they haven't practiced, they don't have they just speak their mind. But those ones who are, oh my God, they're educated, intellectual ones. Listen, I've been told something, man, listen, boy, they will say anything. Today I saw a response. One of my clients sent me a response from the guy that she's talking to. And I ain't gonna lie, man. She said, Kirk, what do you think this means? And I read it and I was like, damn, that's good. That's good. Quintina, how you doing? Long time to see. I said, damn, this is good. That sounds good. But if you look at what he said, it meant all joke aside. When she sent me a reply, I said, that sounds so beautiful. But when you really take the meaning of it, it means nothing. Nothing at all. It just sounds good. You know, it sounds great, but the meaning behind it, I said, it sounds good, but it made no sense. It makes no sense. A matter of fact, this is it lost its soul. Is not soulful. Is I'm like, but he's not saying nothing. He's not saying nothing. He's not saying anything. But if you pay attention to how the words sound, you might stick around. But if you realize that his words are empty, because he still didn't make the plan, he still didn't tell you what he wanted. He still didn't tell you that he was coming to see you. He still didn't tell you exactly what you asked. He told you some pretty stuff. You have to understand, man, a lot of times, them charismatic people, them charming people, they practice, they rehearse these, they know what to say, and they get you every single time. Because even though you know that they don't make no sense, and you know, in answering your question, they sound good speaking when their lips move. It's like, oh, I like how his lips make the sound. I like how he speaks, but ain't nothing coming out. Their program ain't nothing coming out. So you got to be careful when you're meeting these people. You got to be careful when you're meeting these men who have a lot thing to say. And this is why, man. Listen, this is why. Um, when you're dealing with those people, or men and women, pay attention. Close your eyes and pay attention when they speak. Just close your eyes. You will hear more when you close your eyes because you are too distracted by this beauty, this handsome. He's handsome. She's pretty. Close your eyes and listen. Listen. Just listen. You know, you don't have to just listen to what they are saying. I think dating, to be honest, man, I think dating should be a place now. I think dating, that online dating, I think dating should be a thing where stop the online stuff because, you know, as you meet online, I think you should just worry about, you know what? I think I'm going to do something. I think I'm going to do something. I think what I'm going to do is different. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do real quick because I think this makes sense. I was driving home today and I had a thought. And I'm going into a whole different place, okay? I'm going to a whole different thing. So y'all bear with me. Y'all bear with me. I can run them through my background check. This is what I was thinking. I think I'm going to start something. This might take a while. I think I'm going to start something that, I think I'm going to start something that if you want to start dating, I'm going to have some people. But you're not going to see them. Something like that, Gina. Something like that. But you're not going to see them. Men and women, you're not going to see each other. Just talk. You, Quintina, we're gonna just talk. You can just talk to them. Just talk. No video chat. You ain't gotta see their picture. Just talk. Because it's something about conversation that has power. Conversation has power. When you begin to talk and you don't know what a person looks like, it's like you begin to be interested in what their character is. And I think now, these days, a character is no longer important. Character is no longer important these days. Character is no longer important. And I think that's messing with us. Our character. We look for looks. We look for how thick, how tall, height. We're looking for complexion. We're looking. I think I want to start something that says I'm gonna take some names. I'm gonna take some genders, male and females. I'm gonna set you guys up. I'm gonna make you talk. No pictures, no videos, no video chat for 30 days. And when you talk, just talk. Don't be caught up into how they look. Hey, Elena, how you doing? Bro, nice, what's good? Would you believe me if I told you I was thinking that this? I'm telling you. It's a do it, Miranda. Really believe I need to start that. Because I'm telling you, we get, especially on social media, we get into shallow. We too shallow now. We want to find love, but we want to find love the way how we think it should come. One thing about love, boy, it doesn't come the way how you think it should come. One thing about love and relationship, it doesn't come the way how you think it should come. It comes differently. It comes differently. It comes when you least expect it. It comes when you don't try. One of the best things to do if you want to find love is to stop looking for it. Stop looking for it. I think one of the best things is stop looking for it. When you stop looking for it and imagine that you remember when you had a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or when you was married back in the days? You remember when you had a relationship? You remember when you had a relationship? You remember when you had a relationship? You didn't feel funny, Hey, Belinda, right? You didn't feel rushed. When you left the house, you was content. Seriously, you was content. You felt good. You felt comfortable. You felt peaceful. You felt relaxed. And when you had that person, everybody from second grade wanted you. People from the past, hey, I've been looking at you for the past, I always wanted you for the past 28 years, but I just know. As soon as you meet somebody who you actually like, when you begin to relax, is when all the witches, the warlocks, the 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 gentlemen and the ladies, that's when the wolf man and the wolf woman, that's when they come out. They come out of nowhere. They come out of hiding. You can see witches. You will see vampires. You will see warlocks. You will see prince and queens. They come from nowhere. Hey, I've been looking at you for the past 20 years. You waited until I was in a relationship, until I was married to come and say this. You couldn't tell me, well, I was not the best time. So now is the best time. No, it's not. And you know why? Because your spirit is relaxed. Because you're no longer looking. It's like you lost your keys. Remember when you lost that key? Hey, Reese, you remember when you lost your key or that shirt that you loved? You was looking for it, you couldn't find it because you was anxious. And the more anxious you become is the more you push it back. The more anxious you become, you begin to push things away from you. You begin to go away from the thing that you are looking for because you're pushing it back with your anxious energy. That's what you're doing that you don't know of. Hey, puppy, that's exactly what you're doing. You don't know it. But then when you stop looking for it, when you moved on, a matter of fact, I don't even want it no more. One day you just walk right directly to it. Oh, here it is. You know why? Because you're not anxious anymore. It comes to you. See, when you stop being anxious, it comes to you. When you feel like you are relaxed, when you feel peaceful, and when your energy is calm, you attract the gentleman and the woman. Seriously. You attract it. It comes. If you understand this, you will understand why the Bible says if you want something, if you ask for something, believe that you already received it, and then you shall receive it. You shall have it. This is why the scripture tells you that. We don't understand. I always ask me what I'm looking for. I just say, just be you, and things will naturally happen the way it's supposed to. This is why the Bible says if you ask for something, believe that you already have it. When you believe that you already have something, your spirit is relaxed. That breath. Thank you, Belinda. And when you believe that you already have something, it comes to you because you are directly connected to it. Hey, dating and relationship, how are you doing? You are directly connected to it. So if you want a partner, you can't. And also, man, I tell people this all the time. If you think about the relationship, if you think about dating, but when you think about dating, you have doubts, don't date. If you think about dating and you have doubt, I don't care what if you think about money and you have doubt, don't listen, money's gonna run from you. If you think about love and you have doubt, love is gonna go away from you. If you think about dating and you have doubt, it goes away from you. It's the same thing. It goes away, it runs away from you. It runs very quickly because you have doubt and fear. Because with doubt, there's fear right there. Fear and doubt is like best friends. Wherever you see one, you always see the next. Wherever doubt show up, fear is right there because why? Fear generates doubt. It really does. And fear is, what if I don't have it? What if I fail again? What if this ain't the one? What if I'm wrong? What if I suffer again? What if this don't feel? What if this is the, what if he ain't the one? And so that doubt, once you plant a seed and you have doubt and fear, that seed grows into that thing that you call doubt and fear. Understand this concept. Whatever you plant it in is what it grows in. Whatever you plant that thing in, it grows in it. And we don't understand the concept. If you plant something in doubt, shame, and fear, that's what it grows in. And what it means simply is this. What it means is this. If I am doubtful and if I'm fearful, and I started dating you, what you are doing, you are attracting someone who keep you in that same doubt and fear. So when you dating this person, right? When you begin to date this person or that person that you attracted on with those energies, doubt and fear, it means I am bringing something into my life that keeps the doubt and the fear there. It keeps the doubt and the fear there. So that person will come into your life and do the things while you will still have fear and doubt. You can't buy a Gucci purse with Walmart money. You cannot buy Gucci purse with Walmart money. You can't go and seek healthy relationship with unhealthy emotions. You see how simple it is? You cannot go and secure a healthy relationship, a healthy career with unhealthy emotions and unhealthy thoughts. You can't, it's the wrong currency. It's like you're going to spend pesos in Europe. Wrong currency. It's the wrong currency. Completely wrong currency. So if you're trying to have fear and doubt and you're trying to find somebody or something that's healthy, you can't. It's a wrong currency, wrong emotions, wrong feelings, wrong vibration. So it doesn't work. We have to understand this. This have to be practiced. Hey, Dana, can you improve that through process? Can you that thought process, although it started wrong, or must you start over completely? You don't have to start over completely. You can change it because you know why? Let me tell you why. Naturally, if you have that thought process, you will attract somebody in that life. But sometimes, like for instance, sometimes, hey Sadera, sometimes we have to understand there are some great people out there. Even though you might be hurt, even though you might be insecure, even though you might not be healed, there are some great people out there. And they will approach you while you are hurt. They will approach you while your heart is broken. They will approach you while you are going through your stuff. Thank you, Jen. And they will still love you anyways. There are great people out there who actually like you for real, who actually wanted you and like you and who see a lot in you. What I'm simply saying is this. Naturally, if you carry that doubt, guilt, shame, and fear, naturally, you will attract a lot of predators. And so that's why you got to be very careful. Chances of you finding somebody, or because remember, when you find somebody, what you finding is yourself, is your emotional response. You are finding your emotional. Once you feel something, when you look out, you are feel. You know, someone said this: when you carry love, if you carry love, when you turn right, what do you see? Love. Hey, Samara, when you turn left, you see love. When you look up, you see because you carry love. That's what you're going to find. Hey, Miss Cindy, when you carry fear and insecurities, when you turn right, you see fear and insecurities. You're not seeing that person. When you carry love, you're not seeing that person. You see love or not. Does that make sense? Indeed, indeed, Miranda. Does that make sense? If you carry love, okay, let me put it this way: if you're having an amazing day, if you're having a marvelous day, indeed, Miss Cindy, good, good, good. If you're having a marvelous day, if everything is going smooth for you that day, if you turn right or if you turn left, everything is smooth still because you are looking from a place of smoothness. from a place of relaxation, from a place of joy. So when you look right, you see joy. When you look left, you see joy. Not the people per se, not the things, not the situation. You see joy and peace. If you carry fear and doubt, you see it based on fear and doubt. And therefore, you're not seeing the people. You're not seeing anything besides those things. So you might meet somebody of quality, but you are carrying fear and doubt, and that's what you're going to see. So you don't know who to choose. Hey, JP. So you always choose naturally the one who's going to do some nonsense because they have a stronger connection with fear and doubt to you. It's just what it is. So we have to be mindful. We have to be mindful. If you want a relationship, see, but some of you who want a relationship, your problem is, your issue is right now you're fearful. Right now you feel scorned. Right now you feel angry. Right now you feel hurt, and you feel all those things, and you are looking outside with all those energies, not realizing that you're not seeing clearly. You're not seeing clearly. I think one thing that we don't understand, one thing that we don't understand, one thing that we fail to understand, one thing that we fail to understand, this reality is yours. No one else made it for you. And yes, some people helped us to see it, but it's your reality. One of those seven mirrors, you attracted an aspect of yourself that you're being ignorant. So you see, indeed, basically call for correction. You be faced to look into yourself. Otherwise, the cycle will repeat itself. Indeed, facts. See, I some smart people on YouTube, but it's true. So if you want, listen, if you want a job, if you want money, finances, you have to learn to silence the fear and silence the doubt. So when the money or the job or the career is in your mind, you cannot mix it with, we don't have the luxury. Listen, you don't have the luxury to mix what you want with fear. You don't have the luxury of mixing what you want with doubt. You don't have the luxury of needing that career, but you have fear and doubt in your heart. We don't have the luxury. Namaste, Samina. Namaste. You like what I'm saying? You don't think that you all could just be around here, this job, this man, this woman, this marriage, fear and guilt, fear and doubt. No, we don't have the luxury. We don't have it. You can't do it. You can't have it. Walking in confidence, I consider it hard to get along. Now that I am single, I am living my best. I struggle with doubt a lot, and I am tired. I understand that. But you know, when you struggle with doubt, what are you doubting? And are you doubting what is outside, or are you doubting what is inside? Are you doubting what is inside? Thank you, Pat. Or are you doubting what's outside? Inside, the chances are when we struggle with doubt, it's because of our self image. Now, I know things happen, we've seen things, we have been through things, but understand that what you have been through sometimes will take a whooping in your self image, how you see yourself. And when your self image, when you see yourself a certain way, if you go through something and something has failed, it doesn't make you a failure. It doesn't make you a failure. And so, but when a lot of us, when we go through a divorce or a breakup or we see this, it affects our self image. And your self image, based on your self image, is what you attract. If you think that it ain't gonna happen, it's not gonna happen. If you think that you are terrible, you are terrible. If you think that you're not good, you're not good. If you think that you can't, because the way how you see yourself has to be a fact. Hey, Miss Whitney, how you see yourself has to be a fact. Let me say it again. How you see yourself, the universe must agree. Hey, Lindy, how we doing? How you see yourself, the universe must agree. It has to. The universe can't say, no, you're wrong. No. If you see yourself as a shitty person, the universe must agree with you. It cannot, it doesn't have the power to say, you're wrong. That's not who you are. It agrees and it gives you what exactly you think you deserve according to your self image. Interesting. Now, Miss Cindy, let me hit that real quick. Oh, that sounds terrible. Let me hit the comment. Lord have mercy. That sounds terrible, don't it? Jesus. But my mind is innocent. Um, I don't want to settle for what I don't, for what I do not want to settle for what I do not want anymore. I don't want to settle for what I do not want anymore. I instantly see red flags. A lot of us see red flags a lot, but we don't see green flags. We see red flags, but we don't see green flags. Verbal typing. We see red flags, but no green flags. And a lot of times when our nervous system is only seeing red flags, it's because something is off. Something is off, right? There's something is off. Our nervous system is messed up, is damaged, it is going through some things. And so we see red flags anyways, even though the flags ain't there. Because the color that we see is red. Everything is red. We see red flags, but do we see green flags? Do we see green flags? Do we pick up green flags? Do we pick up what's ours? Do we pick up? Now here's the thing. A lot of us, man, a lot of us, if you keep telling your mind what you don't want, that's the only thing that you will find. Madeline, how you doing? Yeah. If you keep telling yourself what I don't want, and when you are hurt and when you've been through some things, you are easily telling yourself what I don't want because you begin to resist it. Once you begin to resist it, you tell in your mind, stay away, I don't want. But when you tell your mind what you don't want, the mind doesn't understand the word don't. So when you tell your mind, I don't want this, the mind is hearing, okay, I don't want a man I have to take care of. I don't want a man I gotta take care of. I don't want a man I gotta take care of. The mind is hearing, man, I have to take care of. Don't doesn't exist in your mind. The mind don't work that way. I don't want a bad job. I don't want a bad job. I don't want a bad job. Bad job is all in mind. Because when you say that, you have to understand when you are speaking, understand this basic thing. You do this naturally in your life, but you just don't know it. We all do this. It happens in every area in our life. This happens you just don't realize it. Every time you speak, your mind creates a picture. A matter of fact, you can only speak what your mind can create an image for. You can only speak the words that your mind can understand, that your mind can generate an image for. If you use an animal, a pet, a person, if I use a person and I say, hey, do you know John Scott? You're stuck because you can't hear anything else because your mind cannot, you don't know who John Scott is. So you pause. You can't go any farther. John Scott. Who's John Scott? What is it? What is it? Bam, you stop. So every word that you use, you create a picture for. Now, when I say I don't want somebody I gotta take care of, you visualize that person that you gotta take care of. You visualize it. Person I gotta take care of. I see a weak man. I see a man. I see a man who's lazy. I see a man who don't have to drive. That's what you see. When you see that in your mind, a feeling comes. That annoying feeling. That that feeling, oh God, resistant. That feeling is very strong. This is a word game that you don't understand. Every time it happens so quick that you don't pick it up. It's a very quick thing. That here we go again. I don't want that. That feeling is very strong. Your feeling is what the universe takes as an instruction. It instructs the universe what you want. It instructs the universe into saying, this is what I need back. I want this back. It used the feeling, not your words, your feelings. When you speak on what you want, do you notice that? When you speak on what you want, what's up, Neil? How we doing? When you speak on what you do want, is a feeling strong? Maybe not. Be honest. You two be all quiet. When you do speak on what you want, you have that feeling? Probably not. Your feeling is weak. There's even no feelings there. I want a man who's honest. There's no feelings there. I want a man who is available. No feelings come. I want a man who is smart. No feelings come. Which feeling is stronger is what you get. Which feeling is stronger is what you get. You get the stronger feeling. You don't get the strong. Listen, you don't get to this. You don't get to. Listen, you don't. Listen, this is not McDonald's. You don't get to put your order. I want a man who is this, that, and that. What's up, Beebs? 5 reasons women can't keep a man. Those were some good reason that was the truth. Thank you. I'm glad that you saw that. I'm glad that you agree. Hey, she's prevailing. How you doing? I've heard a psychologist say once that red flags aren't to be fled, they're to be addressed first. If it's taken care of, answered, good. If not, you got your answer either way. So I'm taking away. I haven't shut up what you meant being quiet. Oh, hey Evelyn, how you doing? Understand, man. Understand. A lot of times, these red flags that we see in is our nervous system because you're thinking. You see, many of us are in survival mode. When you're in survival mode, red flags is what you're gonna see. Seriously, everything becomes a red flag because remember, when you're in survival mode, your heart is not discerning yet. So everything, all you are seeing is red flag. It means that you have to hide and fight. Remember, when you are in survival mode, hey, Awaken, how we doing? When you're in survival mode, your instinct is to fight and hide. That's it. So everything is what you're looking for is a danger. Everything is danger. Nope, danger, danger, danger. All you're gonna pick up is red flag. In survival mode, all you pick up is danger. You don't pick up love. You don't pick up good qualities. You don't pick up trust because it doesn't exist in that lower chakra, that lower system. So you can only pick up red flags. So when you all go to a survival mode because you've been hurt, you are trying to protect yourself, right? You are trying to protect yourself. You are trying to separate yourself. You are trying to heal. You can only pick up red flag. It's a reflection of yourself. So that's all. So when you see yourself only finding red flags, but you can't find the green ones, you tell me in this beautiful world where God is and where God dwells, you can't find no green flags at all. No green people. Only red people. Only red folks. Yeah, Sonya. Only red folks. You can't find green people yet. Something is off. The nervous system is off. Because when we go through these trauma, your nervous system is highly affected. I don't think there's that chakra that's there. What chakra is when you don't pick up red flag? I don't think that's I'm not sure. That one I'm not sure of. But yeah, man, we have to be mindful, man. Listen, I lost like 7 pounds. My face looks smaller in this camera. I'm good. I'm good. I've been on a diet, on a diet. I've been on a diet, man. My skin feels better too. How to heal the nervous system, man? You got to trust and love. You have to trust and love. How do you heal the nervous system? You have to train it. You have to remind it. You have to sit still. You have to sit still. You have to love. You have to trust. You have to feel safe. You have to feel happy. You have to give yourself back those things. Because I think many of us, when we experience trauma or hurt or disappointment, all our stuff go off. And that's what we keep because that's our last memory. And when that becomes our last memory, the hurt and the pain, when we fall off the horse and we hurt our butts because we drop off, if we don't replace that experience quickly, we begin to sit in that pain for too long. So all we feel is pain, hurt, drama, trauma. So we feel scared, we feel afraid, we feel fearful. And so to fix that nervous system is to go back in your mind, become still, learn to sit still, learn to reprogram your feelings and your emotions into things that you actually love. I don't do herbs because that's not where my information. I don't study herbs. I don't know anything about herbs. I honestly, that's not my part of this collection of information. Herbs is not what I do. I don't do herbs. I'm sorry. I don't do anything really. I don't do physical things. I mean, I do, but I don't do herbs. I mean, I don't talk about pills. I don't talk about drugs. I don't talk about herbs. I talk about only the mind. That's where I study. That's what I've been mastering for the past 10 years. So that's all I focus on is the mind, how the mind plays in everything, how the mind, um, right, Miss Whitney, how the mind uses everything that we have experienced to have all this nervous system crap. So we have to learn, man. We have to learn. A lot of times we don't practice. Listen, don't forget, every day, every day, we practice being scared. Well, the heart chakra relates to the compassion, empathy, and the ability to see the truth. Thank you, FH. Thank you. Remember, every day, indeed, the awakening, every day we are easily practicing, hey, happiness my way. Every day we are, every day we are easily um, feeling fearful. Every day we practice and feeling guilt. Who feels guilt every day? Be honest. Who feels guilt twice, three times in 1 week? Every day we are easily feeling, disappointment. Every day we are easily feeling stressed. Every day we are easily feeling anxious. Every day we are easily feeling, and you don't realize that when you are easily feeling those emotions and those feelings, you are practicing those feelings. You make them stronger in your body. You bring the body into that feeling stronger because you are practicing it. Guilt and shame and all this stuff. The more you experience those emotions, the more you fall into them, is the more you practice, you are practicing them. But while you are practicing those things every day, how many times do you practice being happy or feeling free or feeling successful or feeling powerful or empowered? How many times do we feel the opposite? How many times do we practice those feelings? Seriously, we practice those feelings, but we think that they should come from the outside. We think that when I meet that man, I should feel safe. That's not how you practice being safe. Because if you don't feel safe, you're going to meet somebody dangerous. I promise you. If you don't feel safe, you're going to meet somebody dangerous. You don't meet somebody safe. You only get what you are. You have to be mindful that it's not nobody. See, a lot of you join in relationships thinking somebody should bring this that I don't have. That's not how it works. You see, but we look at it as finances. I make this much money, you should make it too, right? In the what you always saying? I make this much money, I expect him to make it too. I have a house, I expect a man to have a house. I have my own cars, I expect him to have a car. That's the least of your worries. That's the least of it. Hey, karma. That's the least of the worries. You have to understand what you carry is what you're going to meet. And in your spirit, it's not your house. You can't carry a house in your spirit. Indeed. You can't carry a house in your spirit, a car, a career. You can carry love. You can carry anger or fear. You can carry insecurities and doubt. You can carry peace and happiness. You can't carry your house. You can't vibrate your house. You really can't. You can vibrate gratitude, but you can't vibrate your house. So you can't depend on what you have physically to say this is what I should have. That's not how it works. You have to get into the feeling. You have to practice the feeling. I don't care what you have in your pocket. I don't care what you have in your home until you learn to practice these feelings, to adjust these feelings, and to balance these feelings, and to practice using and rehearse and rehearse and rehearse feeling happy, and rehearse feeling peace, and rehearse feeling fulfilled, and rehearse feeling complete, and rehearse feeling, that freedom. You have to rehearse it every single day until it becomes a natural, like your damn anger, until it becomes a natural, like your damn resentment, until it becomes a natural, like your own unforgiveness, until it becomes natural, like your guilt. You see how your guilt is natural? You see how your guilt is just natural? You can easily feel guilty naturally, or shame. You can easily feel ashamed naturally. You have to practice these new emotions. You have to practice these new feelings, and until it comes natural, it doesn't work. You got to reprogram your subconscious mind. You have to practice, practice, practice. That's what the trick is. That's what it is. And until you start to do that, man, until you start doing that, until you start understanding that, until you start practicing that and rehearsing that and doing it intentionally, until you become intentional about your feeling. See, many of you expect a feeling to come from the outside. A man should bring it, a woman should bring it, a man. And so you count, some of you all have met some good men and some great women. We have. You already met great people. They just didn't bring what you think they should have brought because they're not responsible for your safety. They're really not. They're not responsible to bring you peace. That's not their job. They're not responsible to bring you all this happiness. They're not responsible to bring you this and that. Nobody is responsible. This is something that we have to learn in school of life. Don't you want to learn that? Don't you want to learn that, man? Don't you want to learn that? Don't ain't it something that you want to learn how to bring these things to yourself? And so when you could bring these things to yourself, you have less demands on people. You have less demands for your partner. You have less demands for your partner. You have so much less demands. Some of you might call it, I don't want to settle. You're not settling. You're just seeing things how you seeing things. You're not settling. I'm telling you, you're gonna have less because you're gonna allow your partner to just because they're not responsible. When you realize that no one is responsible for my happiness, my peace, my mind, my security, my safety, my discernment, my understanding, my growth, nobody's responsible. If I learn that, if I understand that, I leave people let them be. I let people be who they are. I let them be who they are. I could only let them be who they, I could only allow, and when you allow somebody to be who they are, man, the love that you can have can be so much bigger. And love can be so much bigger. But for some reason, you have to fit this. You have to fit this narrative. You have to bring this. You have to bring that. You have to do this. You have to do that. Choice of being happy or being sad. Indeed. Indeed, you have the choice of being happy or being sad. Whoever we end up with, we are settling. Nobody fits everybody. Nobody fits everybody's needs. Nobody fits everybody's needs. All of everybody's needs. I think you think that I don't want to settle for him, but you don't think he's settling for some things about you. You don't, yes, you don't want to settle for man, but you don't think the man that you want sometimes settles for you because we doing conditions. This life. This is why I want to start something. I think I'm going to start this. I'm going to take some people. I'm going to take some people. Some of your names, your basic information, your phone numbers, your names, what you do for a living, basic information, where you from, or your location. I'm going to put you all together. No videos, no pictures, none of them things. Talk for 30 days. In 30 days, if you talk to somebody for 30 days, you develop something. You develop something. You begin to connect in ways that you never thought that you could. You begin to connect in ways that you never thought because you're not worried about how somebody looks. Indeed, Morocco, indeed. I think this will help us because I think we are too shallow. Being shallow, you don't get nothing. I'm abandoned. Hey, Danny Divine, how are you doing? I'm telling you, I think many of us are too shallow. I think social media era has made this world too shallow. Gotta be a certain height, certain size, certain this, certain that, certain shape, certain color, certain height, certain this, certain that. And I think it's destroying us. I'm showing my heart. Six, I think we have to show. I think we gotta do something different. It's not what we're doing now ain't working. What we're doing now ain't working. Don't you agree? What we're doing now, it ain't working. Can't you all see that it's not working? It's not working. More beautiful they become. Indeed, the more you choose to see them as beautiful, the more beautiful they become. Indeed. Being someone who has always settled, I never wanted to be the one someone settled for. But I'm telling you, it's not about settling. I think we think this settling thing. Hey, Beatrice, I think this settling thing is something that we don't understand because a lot of times Let me tell you about something, right? Can I be honest? Let me be honest. Let me be frank and honest. Let me be frank and honest, okay? I'm gonna be honest. Don't hate me for saying this. Don't be mad at me. Don't misunderstand me. But take what I say. Don't take what you feel. Just take what I say. If you can just take what I say without taking what you feel, I think you get me better than now. I think you understand me better. Check this out. Here it is. You don't deserve anything else from what you had. You don't deserve better. You do not deserve anything different from what you do have right now. You don't deserve anything better. You don't. Now, to many of you, that's a bad thing. But to most of you, that's might be a bad thing because based on what you have or what you don't have, who you have and what you don't have, or what you've been through. But you do not deserve anything better. You don't. You really don't deserve anything better. See, because what you think that you deserve is like me taking $5 and telling Gucci store I deserve this purse. So let me take this purse. I deserve it. I'm a nice guy. I'm nice. I'm kind. I'm loving. I only have $5 though. I deserve this. Here we go. I deserve this. And what we are doing is the same thing. But do you really deserve it? Or the people who have the money to afford it, ain't those the one who deserves it? Sometimes you will have people and family members and friends who believe that they deserve what you have and you don't deserve it, even though you are the one who worked for it. But they feel like they're the one who's nicer and kinder and sweeter. They should have what you have because people will come into your life and think that they deserve what you have. True or false? Indeed. People will assume that they deserve what you have. They deserve your relationship. They deserve your car. They deserve your job. They deserve to win. They deserve your gold, your trophy. They really believe that they deserve it. And so you also to think that you deserve someone better, a good love, but your feelings don't say it. Your self-image don't show it. Effort and energy are parallel. Your self-image don't say it. It doesn't reflect it. Your self-image do not reflect it. Whatever your self-image reflects is what you get, is what you deserve. The one thing about this life is fair. God is fair. Ain't that what the Bible said? God is fair. Isn't that what you all say all the time when you all repeat the Bible? God is love, God is fair. So how do you think that you get something that you don't deserve? Why do you think that you keep getting the same thing? Because that's what you deserve. See, you using your thoughts and your rationalities and your emotions and your ideas of what I deserve to think that this is what I deserve. In all reality, whatever you get is what you deserve. Because that's where your thoughts are, is where your feelings are, is where your vision shows. That's what you get. That's what you get. Stop telling people you deserve better. Why? Do you know what's in their thoughts? Here I am I realize this. Here I am every single day. Hey, what's up, Andre? Here I am every single day. Hey, Kiara, every single day. Here I am every single day. Cleansing my mind, cleansing my spirit. Focus on what I want. Focus on changing my feelings. Focus on my mind. Focusing on my thoughts. Focus on what I do want, not what I don't want. Conditioning my mind to not resist what I don't want, to not be afraid of and then here I am getting what I do want finally. And you think that you deserve what I have. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Ain't that something? You deserve, see, you don't want to do the work on your mind. See, you don't want to you don't want to pick out your weed. You don't want to do your harvest. You don't want to go in the garden of your mind and pick the weeds out and manage your thoughts and manage you don't want to do that. It's too much hard work. It's so hard to It's so hard to meditate. It is so hard to be still. It is so hard. Of course, I think it's hard, but don't forget you get what you deserve. That's what I'm saying. Do I get it? It sounds harsh, don't it? But that's good. It needs to be harsh. It needs to be really harsh because you are going around telling people you deserve better. You deserve. You don't know what they're thinking. If you think that you ain't worth nothing, if you think that you are worthless, if you think that you are a bad person, if you think that you are just not good enough, what do you think that you deserve? The universe would agree. Wait, that means no, you're wrong. No, it agrees. You can't. He can't tell you. The universe can't tell you what to think about yourself if you don't see it. That's your problem. You get the reflection. If you don't see it, that's your problem. So to understand, if since I'm mindful of this, when I look at myself, my self-image, when it comes to money, understand what I'm saying. When it comes to money, when it comes to fitness, when it comes to health, when it comes to love, when it comes to relationship, when it comes to, I focus on all my areas in my life. You know how much work that is? Can I focus? Can I bring everything? Can I bring my tree to life and all my branches are bearing fruits? You know how much work that is? You know how much time consuming it is to be reading all these damn books? Read them again and read. I read this book 4 times because every time I read it, something happens again. And so I have to reset my mind. This book is the perfect book for me because every time, you know how many times I read those books? I have to do it multiple times because you have to stay in my spirit. You're watching videos. You're watching somebody says nonsense. You're watching somebody speak negatively that reinforces your negative belief system. How do you deserve the best? When you are not conditioned, when you are not disciplined to put your mind in that place, you have to be disciplined to place your mind in a situation. If a person focus on themselves, they won't have more to spare. I like that. We get what we have faith in. Indeed. The garden of your mind. Indeed, FH. We don't want the luxury of focusing on what he doing, what she doing, why they did it. We don't have to listen. I promise you. I promise you. A lot of therapists is gonna want to tell you. A lot of therapists is going to tell you dig up things in the past, tell you based on the past what happens in the past. They're going to tell you all these things about the past. You're going to go back. I promise you, we don't have the luxury of sometimes understanding why he did what he did, why she did it. Indeed. Well, come on. We don't have the luxury of trying to understand why they did it to you. And many of us are stuck in those why. Why did he do it? Why can't he? Why does he? Why not? Why? We don't have the luxury. Hey, Shonda, what we have the luxury of doing is to focus on now. Now we are here. What now? What's the next step? We are here. What's the next step? Like I said, my favorite books that I read first. One of my favorite books that I read like 8 years ago. You Are Here. One of my favorite books that I read about 8 years ago. You are here. You could only be here. Deal with the things that's here. What is here is here. Many of you are focused on what is not here. And that's why you are chaotic. That's why you are anxious. That's why you are stressed because you are focused on what is not here. If you are focused on what is not here, oftentimes you will be anxious or depressed. Does that make sense to you? Because when you focus on what's not here, you have to use your imagination to create them, to recreate them. Until you realize that it's not okay. I mean that is okay to not know why. I'm telling you. I read this book 10 years ago. I had to rebuy it because I lent somebody this book. I had to buy it brand new. I like books. I don't like audiobooks because when I read, But I know, right, David? I know when I read, I can't listen. I can't do audio. I have to. I read slow, so I have to read and stop, take it in, read, stop, focus, read. I read very slow. Take me weeks to read a book sometimes, especially when I read that big ass book up there by Dr. Joe Dispenza. It take me weeks. I read very slow, but as I read, I practice. I don't read and just read through the books. I read, stop, and because I know if I read this book, I want something from it. Let me focus on what I'm getting. I don't have to rush to read through it just to say I read 16 books this year. Indeed. So I'm saying, this is where you are at. You are here. You are right here. You ain't nowhere else. Your body is here. Be where your body is. Hey, Angie, how are you doing? Be where your body is. Be wherever your body is. Be there. Let your mind be there too. And when your mind and your body begin to operate in the same place, oh my God. I see that, Miranda. When your mind and your body is in the same space, you can create a lot more. You see how simple that sounds? You see how simple that sounds? When your mind and your body can be in the same place at the same time, you can create a lot more. But today, your body is in a shower, your mind is in Europe. Your body is in a shower in Georgia, your mind is in New York. Your body is eating breakfast in your table in your house. Your mind is in 25 years ago when your mom or your dad did something. Your mind is in a whole different time dispensation, this time era. Discipline. All right, Morocco, I know it's late for you. You have a blessed night. Good night. That's what happens to us. You eating dinner, your mind is in breakfast the next day. Your mind is what is going, what am I doing at work tomorrow? That's where your mind is. Who am I talking to? Who am I talking to, y'all? Who am I preaching to tonight? I know I have a sermon going on. Dating is not what you think it is. Linda, dating is not what you think it is. Dating, if you are not programmed to date properly, if you are not programmed to date properly, then you have to reprogram yourself to make it natural. You have to reprogram yourself to make it natural. To make something natural, you see, some of us, I ain't gonna lie. Some of us, I ain't gonna lie, some of us it comes like this. Some because some of you all having a good career comes like this. To some of you all having a child comes like this. To some of you all having money comes like this. To some of you all having friendships comes like this. To some of you all having a relationship comes like this. To some of you all having toxic relationship comes like this too. To some of you all, money don't come. It's everybody is programmed differently. I am talking to the ones who need to be programmed specifically in a specific thing, whether it's finances, relation, it's all the same. There is no different. How you make one thing is how you make everything. How you create one thing is how you create everything. How you manifest one thing is how you manifest every single thing. If you don't have resistance, if you don't have fear, and if you don't have doubts, it's coming to you. The one thing that you want the most, it comes with the most doubt. Two of us. Let's see how much sense this makes. The one thing, hey Sugi, the one thing that you want the most comes with it. The one who want the baby the most have the most doubt, have the most fear. The last time it didn't work. Oh my God, the last time it didn't work. If I hope it work this time, I'm crossing my fingers. I'm praying. God, I'm praying. I hope it comes. The most doubt. Come on now. What's up, Joe? The one thing that you want the most, that marriage. That marriage, the one thing that you want, these people getting married around you, nobody proposed to you and since you were born. Why? because you resist it. And what you want the most is what you resist the most. The one thing that you want the most. Everybody always say, some of us, everybody is struggling with something. Everybody is not. Thank you, Sean. Everybody is not struggling because once you understand this law, you're not no longer struggling with it. As long as you understand how the mind works, you won't struggle anymore. Everybody is struggling with something. That makes you feel better about your struggle. Huh? Not true. Some people are easy getting sick. It's natural. Until you make it natural, it doesn't work. Indeed, Felicia. Understand, man. This relationship on dating, you all think it's so hard. Why? Because you don't have control. You don't have control over your mind. You don't have control of your own energy. It's your energy that creates. Your energy is what brings to you. So how do we avoid what exactly? How do you avoid what? You have to ask yourself, what do I want? When you ask yourself, what do I want? If I ask you, what do you want? So how do you avoid the resistance? The opposite of resistance are two answers. The opposite of resistance is acceptance and detachment. Detachment and acceptance. Accept what has happened to you. Accept what is. Accept what you have seen. Accept it, accept it, accept it. Let it be. Let it be. This is the new moment. This is the new era. Detach from how you think it should look as it growing. Detach from the idea of when you plant a tree, detach from the idea of how it should look in 3 weeks, in 4 weeks, in 5 weeks. Detach from the idea and just plant the seed and have faith. Let the soil do what it does. Let the soil do what it does. You have to detach from the idea of what you think or how you think is going to be done. See, many of you have an idea of how things should be done. You don't know. God said I would open up. He said I would open up all my windows. You know how many windows is there? You know how many windows is there? I would open up all my windows and send you a blessing. All my windows. You know how many windows? You think it's coming from this window, is not. You see, sometimes when you here's what we do. When we begin to, as we use that word, manifest money, we think that money comes from a promotion. Have you ever manifest money and it didn't come from your job? It came from somewhere else. And has anybody done that before? Have you ever manifested something, but it didn't come from where you think that it was coming from? That lump sum didn't come from where you think it was coming from? Come from a whole different source? Anybody? Have you ever manifested something, a relationship, a man, a woman, and it came from a whole different place? When you are doing this right here, your idea of how it's supposed to happen ain't your business. Some of you think, see, when I manifest money, I don't know where it's coming from, and I don't hold So when you see, I have. So let me tell you this: I have about 7 streams of income. Seven streams of income, 6 or 7. When one dries up, because if they do dry up, I'm not bothered. I'm not scared. I don't start panicking, because if I start panicking, I create resistance. Yeah, I create resistance. My self-image, myself looks different. Hey, Empress. I begin to tell the universe, I'm in lack. I'm in lack. I'm in lack. And once I tell the universe I'm in lack, the universe gives me lack. That's the bad thing. Because things will dry up. If it dries up, it doesn't mean that you are starving. It doesn't mean that you have no food. It doesn't mean that it means that it's still flowing to you. But hold on. It's coming from different places. This one might dry up, but this one might overflow. You have to relax. You have to relax. You have to trust the system. You have to trust the process. This one might, listen, 1 month, this one might dry up, but it comes from elsewhere. You have to relax. See, when you relax, everything comes to you. Kirk, explain that there may be a delay. You can think it will never happen, then get what you want, and then they never get what I want. Frequency catches up and takes it away. Helen, explain. There can be a delay. You can think it will never happen, then get what you want, and then they never get what I want. I think, Maron, I don't think I understand. I don't think I understand. Can you write it a different way so I can understand a little better? But yeah, man, listen. And I don't know if you mean sometimes there's a delay, but sometimes the delay, sometimes it's just, we have to understand the reason why. Hey, Nani, how you doing? Thank you so much for the blessing. Thank you so much. Sometimes the reason why it must be a delay because, when you plant a seed, when a man plants his seed inside of a woman, right? When a man, hey, Powder Puff, how you doing? When I plant my seed inside, this sounds really bad, don't it? I don't know what to talk with you about. I'm not. I don't like to really say things in a way. Nanny Puffins, how you feeling? I don't like to say things in a way that don't sound like me because I like something like me. I like how I sound. Some people don't like how I sound because they are, they're, religious and they feel different about my words. So excuse my words if you don't like my words. I'm sorry. But you see, when I place the seed inside of my wife, right? When my wife received my seed, I knew when to start counting because I knew 9 months later, some little bad kid was coming out. Some little annoying thing was coming out. And in 9 months, we begin to look, where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Now, if that little thing didn't come in 9 months, I'm looking at it like, what's happened? Where you at? Something is wrong. Because we know it's 9 months. When your dog is pregnant, you know it's about 2 months. You're going to start seeing puppies. Stacy, right? In 2 months' time, that puppy litter should be there. But here's the deal: we don't know how long all the seeds take to grow. We don't know how long all the seeds take. And so when you plant the seed, leave it alone. Because what you consider a delay is just the seed isn't grown yet. Because a lot of times when we plant a seed, man, when we plant a seed, what happens? We use doubts, insecurities, and lack mindset. We begin to worry. And that take the seed longer to grow. It's like we put it up and plant it again. And then when we have doubt and insecurity, it's like we pull up the seed, look at it to make sure it's good. It's still good. You plant it again. And so it's prolonging the journey. I feel like I'm preaching. Sometimes I feel like I'm preaching. And I don't want to be that person to sound like I'm preaching because I don't like it. So it's like watching Waterboy, right? So every time when you plant the seed, it's like you have no trust. You don't trust that the ground is able, right? We don't trust that the ground, the earth, the soil is able to grow the everything because everything came from there. You don't trust it to just leave it there, leave it alone. And when the time has come, everything takes roots in different time. But since you don't understand that, you want to be anxious. You want to be anxious. It should be growing by now. Why? Says who? So detachment, the law of detachment states detach from the idea of how you think it should be. When it's do your part and trust the process. The, the, detach from the idea of how you think it should work because you don't know. You're working with powers here. You're working with universal powers that your mind cannot grasp the understanding of it. You're working with energies that you have never felt, seen, touched, understood. You're working with a power that is inside of you that's causing your heart to beat, your heart to pump that you don't control. That same power, you don't get to control how it beats your heart. Maury, how are we doing? You don't even know how to beat your own heart. Yet there's something inside of you that's doing it for you. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? You don't even know how to digest your own food. All you have to do is eat. Put it in your mouth. It works on itself. It works by itself. Leave it alone. Leave it. Don't F it up. Just leave it alone. You have a power within you that you cannot understand. That's the same power that's outside of you. It's the same power that's in the earth. It's the same power that when you understand, leave it alone, it makes everything grow. It's only when you bother things, you stop it. Do you notice? When you begin to bother things, you begin to slow the process down because you put in your own limited mindset on it. You don't understand what it's supposed to be. Your limited belief system, your doubts, because you bother it, you play with it. It's like you have a cut and you mess with it. Yeah, Lindy, I feel like I love that book. It's like you have a cut and you keep picking it. Have you ever had a cut before? And you know this, right? Hey, Melissa, you know when you have a cut, you all know this. Yeah, you all grown and you all think that you all outgrow this. You had a cut, and when it begin to heal, it begin to have scabs and it begin to itch. And the more you want to scratch it, and you want to pick up the scab, and then you pick a scab and start to bleed again, right? It begin to bleed again. You're like, oh man, it begin to bleed, and then you gotta wait for that scab to come back, right? And so the scab, and it's like a addiction. When you see a scab, you gotta mess with it. Do you know before things grow, it looks worse? Before things heal, it looks worse. Before something changes, it looks worse. Hey, can I tell you about this? Before your marriage dies, it gets worse. And before your singleness dies, it gets worse. And so many times it keeps us stuck. Many times it keeps you stuck because your singleness is what you know. And when it begins to die, because you met somebody, you can't let go of your singleness because it looks ugly when you go to let go. Because to switch from one to the next, it dies. It has to die. When you are in that single era, 5, 10 years, the death of it feels very threatening to your ego. So you find flaws in everybody that you meet. Do you understand the process? Do you understand what happens on the inside? As we switch from one to the next, one must die. One must die. So I showed you what death looks like. It's to be nailed to the cross. You hear me? It's to be crucified. It's a painful experience. But we're talking about you, by the way. That was about your death, of your own situation to give life to the next. You have to resurrect, but to resurrect, you have to die. One has to die. See, the resurrection was about you. Now, I don't want to make you all feel funny. I don't want to bring no crazy information here. Because I know you all already think that I'm crazy. You probably think that I don't know what I'm talking about, and I get it. I don't want to threaten your belief system. I don't want to threaten your religion because that's not what I'm here to do. I'm not here to threaten your religion. I'm here to threaten your belief system. Please don't think that I'm coming up just speaking trash. But the resurrection was talking about you, that you may live. Something has to die. Something has to die. And whichever one you are staying for a while, you can't give it up because the death feels funny. It feels really bad. So some of you being single for 28 years, 38 years, 40 years being single. Do you know why? You know why you've been single for so long? Because you don't have enough belief that you're gonna find a better life after. See, if you don't know that the life after death is beautiful, you'd be afraid. Think about it. You have to believe in life after death. That's why religion teaches you life after death. Because when you go, listen, at this time, I ain't talking about death. I'm talking about when you put your singleness or your marriage or your relationship or one situation, when you put it to death, you have to have trust that there's life after it. You have to resurrect. It has to be resurrected in a different light. When something is about to die or when it's dead, it decays. It smells. Strong scent. Everybody can smell it. You think everybody can smell it. You smell it. You feel it. You feel it. You experience it. And many times when you begin to experience that, it has to get sick first. Many times when you experience that, you give up. Ah, never mind. Let me bring it back to life. I don't trust. Let me bring it back. I don't like. I can't be the one. I can't do this. I can't do it. Many of you marriages was supposed to be put to death long time ago, but you can't. You can't let nobody see you walking around like this. You can't let nobody see you as a failure. You can't let nobody see you as this. You can't let nobody see me as that. And so we prolong the experience, we prolong the suffering, we prolong the resurrection. The way we prolong it, look at our lives. We're not happy. We're not free. And it's happy. It's free. To hell with happiness. I'm not saying this. I know everybody think happiness is the key. Happiness is not the key. Freedom is. I don't know why you all want to be happy. Happiness should be a thing that's just happen when everything in your life is going the way that you want. But freedom. I think happy is happiness. I'm supposed to be happy. No, you're supposed to be free. It's free. It's freedom. Freedom. Can you imagine being free? Free from your own guilt, free from your own prison, free from your own insecurities, from your own doubt, from your own fear. That's freedom, not happiness. It's freedom. Battery is dying. Turn it off a little bit. Seems to be recharged. Spectrum there. I want to be happy. What's stopping you? That's not stopping you. Freedom is the main. Freedom is the only thing. It's freedom. If you can be free, happiness will be anywhere. If you can't be free, happiness is one of your goals. Why is your goal to be happy? Your happiness should be where you are now. Your goal, when somebody tell me, I just want to be happy, who's stopping you? Who's stopping you? It should be something that is your life. It's your perspective, your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts. Can't you control it? Imagine, imagine if you had a life and you had a choice to be happy. Wouldn't you be happy? Being left to they will never leave is a significant shift. The new beliefs noted and needed time and effort to fully unlearn and overwrite. Time log is the amount of time it takes, the energy you put into for thoughts, feelings, and beliefs to manifest into reality. Yeah, I'm telling you all, man. People want to be happy. People, you want to leave relationship to be happy. You want to get one to be happy. I think that's why relationship fails. You want because you're looking for happiness. What you looking for happiness for? Happiness is you. To remind yourself that you are happy sometimes. Is to remind yourself. Look, you know, do you have an idea? Do you know how much? Do you really want to know how many entities are fighting for your life right now? Hey, Amina, how you doing? Good to see you. You know how much entities is fighting for your life right now? They want to move in, take over your life. Do you know how many entities is fighting to get in? Praying, yeah, Maddie, praying that you drop to a certain energy, praying that you drop to a certain vibration. Hey, Rose Petal, wishing that you come to a certain vibration, and when you get to the vibration, they move in. Cancer, sicknesses, diseases, depression. Those things are energies. You are in right. And as soon as you drop to a certain vibration, they going inside of you. They're going in, they're moving in, and you're not happy. Hey, Shadrika, because you think happiness looks like this, or looks like this, or looks like when I finally get my relationship, or when the man finally comes the way I want it to come. How are you gonna blame that on happiness? When the man comes the way how I want him to come, I will not settle. You know what settling really is, man? Settling? It's not what you think. I mean, and it's not embarrassing. It's just, sometimes our frequency drops because what we're going through. But I get what you were saying. Hey, Ty. Seriously, you know how much things is fighting for our life, man? Hey, son, well, I'm glad that you like both sides. I appreciate it. Because, everybody don't like both sides of me. People like my conscious sides, and some don't like my humorous sides, and Kirby, you got to talk like this. I like talking like that, too. Yep, Caribbean accent from St. Vincent. My arms are huge. Seriously, man. Serious. All joke aside, man. You have to be aware of what's happening within you. You have to choose happiness every day. Every day you have to choose it. You gotta choose it. And it's making happiness, freedom. But I'm telling you, what's been causing you, Angie, listen, what's been causing your freedom to not come is your own emotions. Your emotions will remove your freedom. Your emotions it will just make you feel like you're not free. It will make you feel like you're not good enough. It will make you feel like you are stuck. It will make you feel like you are not there. You make you feel and your emotions. And sometimes if you want to be free, is to practice being present. Do you know how to be present, man? Facts, Ty, facts. Room 2 or 3. What makes you tell of yourself what the way to be break free, the way to break free, the way to break free, the way to break free is to be present. That's the hardest thing for many people. You know, work out. You can be present right here. Indeed. I can be present right here. Being still. Nothing is happening. There's nobody bothering me. My kids leaving me alone. My ex-wife is not here. I'm not in Iraq anymore. No lightning is striking me right now again. Why not be here? Ain't this a better place to be? I mean, where I came from, I don't want to go back, but why do I keep going back in my mind? If I hate it so much, why do I keep going back? In my emotions, in my feelings, and then complain that I'm anxious. Yeah, I was struck by lightning years ago. Seriously, if I hate it so much, why do I keep going back to the time when it happened? Maybe because I resisted. Maybe I should stop resisting it and just realize it happened. It happened. It happened. When you accept that it happened, you stop resisting. When you stop resisting, the mind no longer brings it back. Do you all know how the mind works? So when you stop resisting, the mind has no need to bring it back. It loves when you resist because when you resist, you generate energy based on your emotions. You generate energy. And when you resist it, you begin to fight. You begin to think. You are generating energy. You become a generator. But the energy that you generate is a low vibrational energy that attracts low vibrational things. Check this out. We said this earlier. If you think about something, anything, money, love, relationships, men, woman, car, if you think about anything, if you think about anything with fear and doubt, you get a version of that thing, a version that carries the vibration of doubt and guilt. If you think about a relationship, but as it's on your mind, you have doubt and fear, what happens, the way how it comes to you, the way how the person comes to you will be in fear and doubt. The relationship would be based on them making you fearful even more and them making you still doubtful by their behaviors and their actions. They're gonna behave in a way that you still have doubt. Doubt and guilt don't create clarity. Doubt and guilt do not bring you peace. It don't make no sense. Doubt and guilt do not bring something that brings happiness. It's off. Wrong currency again. Wrong currency. Wrong currency. Somebody say wrong currency. Wrong currency. When something comes to your mind, you have to relax. To relax, listen, when something comes to your mind, when something comes to your mind, first, relax your body. If money comes to your mind, if the bills come to your mind, relax your body. Relax your body. Relax. First, go straight to relax. Thank you, Kira. First, relax. When the man comes to your mind, relax. When the relationship comes to your mind, relax. Don't go back into a tense way of thinking about, I hope, I want, I don't want. Relax. Step number one, relax. Step number one. What is step number one? Relax. Relax your body. Drop your shoulders. Nothing is happening. It's just a thought. Relax. Indeed. From peace. That's amazing. Foreign currency. You have to relax. The second thing, when it comes to your mind, feel love. Number one, relax. Number two, love. Number one, relax. Number two, love. Last thing, feel like you already have it. Feel like you already have it. Feel like it's present. Feel like it's present. Because remember, you are creating it in your mind. Feel like it's already present. Feel. Relationship, don't tense up. Relax. See, when you relax, the body is saying, when you relax, the body is saying, it's already mine. It's saying, I'm not seeking for it anymore. When the body's relaxed, it's your body and your mind saying, I'm not looking for anything. Second, when you feel loved, you attract that thing that you are thinking about in that higher frequency. In that higher frequency. And third, feel like you already have it. Lastly, understand that what you deserve is what you have. If you look and see what you have in your life, start to understand that is what you deserve in your mind, in your subconscious mind. Begin to see yourself differently. Begin to see yourself. I asked somebody once, if you look up to someone, how would you look at them? What about if it's a negative thought that comes? There is no such thing as a negative thought. It's just a thought. There's no negative thought. It's a thought. If you think it's negative, you're going to tense up. But no matter what thought comes, relax your body, especially if what we consider is negative, relax your body. Because a negative thought will bring a negative emotion. If you tense up your body, the negative emotion lasts for a longer time. If you release and relax your, do you know it is proven? Thank you, Dayton. Do you know it is proven that if you relax your muscles in your body, it's very hard to get angry. It's very hard to get frustrated. It's very hard to get anxious. Do you know that? If you relax the muscles in your body, it is very hard to get angry. Indeed. If you learn to relax your muscles in your body, it is very difficult to be angry. How do you think love when you're fight flight mode or don't know love? Dr. JH, how do you think love when you are in fight flight? Well, the question is, why am I in fight flight mode? The truth is nothing is happening. There's nothing happening. You have to remember, you have to fix your nervous system. You are in fight flight mode because you are seeing something, you are seeing a threat. What is my threat? What threat am I seeing? What threat am I seeing? What am I running from? It's like you in your dream. Have you ever had a dream? And in your dream, you're running from somewhere? You're in your dream, but you're running from somebody that you can't see. That's what we do in real life. We're running from something that we don't know. There's nothing there to run from. And it works. We're running from things that is not even chasing us. In your dreams, you've been running from strangers that you don't see their face. You don't see, they, I don't even know. You don't know who they are. You know what is it? In life, we do it too. We are in fight or flight. Can't fix your nervous system if you're still in the place that threw it off. It's right. Why am I in fight or flight? You have to understand, why am I in fight or flight? I'm just controlling it. You have to relax. Tell yourself there's no threat. There's really no threat. Most of us have no threat. Most of us have no problems, 90% of your problems is in your mind. Ain't that crazy? 90%. 90% of your problems is in your mind. When you realize that you have no threat, you're going to learn to realize that you're not in fight or flight mode. To get out of fight or flight mode, learn to relax your body. They say when a man is hungry, he has one problem. But when a man is full, how many problems do he have? When a man is hungry, he has one problem. One. But as soon as he's full, how many problems do you think he had? Hundreds. Because everything now becomes important. Everything now is, have you ever seen your kids hungry versus when they are full? So I'm told them that. Indeed, I'm telling you. My manifestation goddess. You don't have problems. We're living in the past. You have to be present. Learn to be present. Be right here, right now. Be here. That's where your body is. Be here. Be wherever your body is. Be wherever your body is. Can you all type that? Be wherever your body is. Be wherever your body is. 6 words. Matter of fact, I'm going to make a shirt. I'm going to make that into a shirt tomorrow. Let me write it down. That's going to be my shirt that I'm wearing. Be wherever your body is. 6 words. Shirt alerts. Many people won't get it, but it's okay. Be wherever your body is. What's the best spice? Everything tastes good. I'm telling you. But when you full, man, you make trouble. You want sex. You want, you want somebody. You want to talk on the phone. You want to go out. You want to go to Walmart and walk around. That's where you make trouble. You want to go for a drive. That's where you get trouble. I'm telling you. You get horny all of a sudden because now you're full. A hungry man has one problem. A full man we don't have a lot of problems. We have a lot of not being present. When you are in fight or flight mode and you realize, first thing first, your body is not relaxed. When you're in fight or flight mode, first thing first, relax your body. Your body don't hold on to fight or flight mode when you relax. I promise you, it really don't. It pauses. Because when you relax your body, that means nothing is chasing you. That means you are telling the mind, hey, you are thinking the wrong thing. It's just to be hungry. No, but that's why fasting helps. Seriously. It makes you more focused. Fasting makes you focus. It's really true. But understand, the mind and the body is not connected. The mind has its own place, and the body becomes a mind of its own. The body gonna do what it want to do. So what you have to do, you have to submit the body to the mind. You really have to submit the body to the mind. So when the mind is tripping and you don't see anybody chasing you, you don't see a lion behind you. You're anxious. You don't see a lion behind you, right? You don't see a man breaking into your home. Your house is locked. It means that your mind is just creating a memory. What you have to do, relax your body. When you relax your body, the mind is reading a sign. Hey, relax, chill out, you're tripping. The mind then begins to relax. And then the boat becomes in sync. Indeed, Dr. J, indeed. Does that make sense? So fight or flight mode is just you putting your body back into drop your shoulders, breathe, focus. I'm here. There's no way I can have sex on a full stomach. That's like exhausting. The second thing, how can you feel love? First, relax your body. You see how that makes sense now? Thank you, Millie. Thank you. Do you see how that makes sense? When your body is relaxed, I bet love can happen. When your body is relaxed, peace can happen. When your body is relaxed, joy can happen. But when your body is tense, joy don't happen. It's two different frequencies. When your body is tense, anger is there, frustration is there, bitterness is there, resentment, because those are the same frequency as that resistance at that. But the other side, relaxation is a higher vibration. So joy, happiness, peace, love can all be happening in that vibration. Survival mode, in survival mode, you don't have access to love. That means you're running for your life. You can't be loving and running for your life at the same time. It's two different places. But when you're in the relaxation mode, you can. You can't run for your life in relaxation mode. I'm not because you don't want to get up. It takes you a long time to build up that movement. So I think that's enough speaking for me today. I think I spoke for about 3.5 hours. I think that's a lot. That's enough speaking for me today. So I thank you guys for listening, and thank you guys for being present. Well, I ate once today. I'm hungry now. That stink bug really don't stink. Didn't know that, Lindy. We didn't know that. My body is 70 trillion cells. The mind is one who gives them the orders. The subconscious is the one who sends the orders to each and every cell as if they are individual entities. Indeed. Thank you, Millie. Indeed. Thank you, guys. What's for dinner? I have no idea. Do you think diet matters for anxiety? Diet do matter for anxiety. What you eat affects you the way you think. Matter of fact, when I first started this journey, years ago, when I first started this, when I had to learn, because if you think about it, right, the foods that we have taken in is the food that we are always taking in. And so it affects you in ways that you don't understand. The only way to know if it affects you is to remove it from your diet, like meat, beef, chicken, steaks, for a while, because those meats have energies of their own. I do offer individual and group sessions. Send me an email and we could talk about it. But my individual sessions, I do relationships, I do relationships, and I do spiritual coaching. And on group session, just we could talk about it. Yeah, I do sessions. Check my website out. My website is Conscious Reality, Conscious with a K. That store, Conscious Reality. That store. Or send me an email, or send me a message. On we could talk about it. I did a mono diet and changed my life. I'm telling you, man. Meat has certain energies that it carries. If you don't know yourself without those meat, then you don't know how it's affecting you differently. When you remove it for everything in life, you have to remove it from your life to see how you operate without it. When you understand how you are, when you know how you operate it without meat, then you will know when is the meat talking or when is you talking. So you learn how to manage yourself. I had to learn how to manage myself without meat. I'm like, oh man, without meat, I was so light. My mind was so simple. Without meat, I felt so free. But the meat is a little heavier. With the meat, your emotions are more. With the meat, you use different levels of emotions. Anxiety is a little heavier with meat. Thank you for that. Great, very. Thank you, Fatty. Thank you so much. I thought you were gone. Everything has one. Yeah, I mean, so we have to learn to live without certain things so that we can know what it does to us or what it brings to us. Alcohol, drugs, pills, everything. We have to be without them for a while to see the effect of it on our bodies and our minds. But listen, it was good talking to you guys tonight, man. It was good seeing you guys. I hope you all are blessed. I'm glad. Y'all have a blessed night. Have a great weekend. I'll probably be on tomorrow for a while, okay? You all be blessed. Love you guys. Be good. Behave yourselves too, okay? Make sure you behave. Because if you're not behaving, be good at what